Stick to the key levels. Stay calm and collected. Get your learn on with the professor and Adara. Go get him.
Go get him.
What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as that midday show. That in the lovely green is your girl Adara, and we're not really technically all that red, Adara. We're only 0.087 down on the Nasdaq. So yeah, we're not too bad today. All right, we're gonna wait for everyone to come on in over from the other chat. Shout out to the world's greatest moderator, Bears versus Bulls. Shout out to Matthew Booth. Yes, there you go. You're getting the love from the production team, baby. Easy Trader, Matei Slade, Mr. Jonathan, JF Trader, Armando Zapata, and Andrew Chow. So's Hay Davis and Pillsbury, Vic Yan, Novak, and Chef Joe. I love when Big Asian writes hi, because I like to say Big Asian.
I know you
No
really
Man
like that
Hussein, Draco. We got my man Adam Deluge. Shout out to you, my man. Day Trader Cut. What's going on to him? Hans Beer, we got the Ham Star, we got Gorev, we got Jeremy, we got Mr. Ian and Yannick Nesbitt, we got Random Oddities. That's a good one. Junior Son, we got Zion Lala and Daryl Finch, Ram Krishna, Hold My Beer, it's almost Friday, TX Trader, and Rob Newland. Shout out to everybody, and Mary S. Lyman. Thank you for joining us. Haven't seen your name in the chat before, but that's all good. What's going on, Adair? Good morning.
Good morning. How are you today, this fine Thursday, Sharif?
Weather is fantastic out there. It's, you know, the cold spell is dissipating. Adair, now we're starting to get a little bit more back to seasonal. I'm not going to say no to that. How about you? How's everything on your side?
I'm doing well. I like the fall. Also, I want to say, though, here, I am an SMCI SPCE, and also, you know, I said to Sharif this morning, I'm feeling a little bit whimsical. So I was sitting here, and I was, like, literally singing, and Sharif can quote, I was actually singing to SMCI. I was like, Spicky, feel me. And it was like, what I was singing to, it would actually work better. So anyway, so I was trying to get Phil to your 615. I have to shout out Darius Golden in the chat, because I know you were talking about this level yesterday. It was a level that was pretty clear. If I go to the 5-minute from yesterday, there was some action there with Smicky at that 615, was it? Yes. We had like a little bit, some waffling here on 615 before we popped up, right? So I like 615 as a level, and I said this to SMCI, and Sharif happened to be there to witness my conversation with the stock as well. Come over here, and I was like, hey, SMCI, I'm going to go get my coffee, and you're going to make a decision by the time I come back, okay? 615, either you break below, or, and I thought this was a better look, we had these higher lows. I said, if you bounce off 90 MA, I'll give you to 613.50. So I get involved, and the second I get involved, we get to 613.50s, and I was like, but we held it nicely on the book. Said, Derek, don't panic sell. You have no reason to. Breathe. Give it a moment. I have some size, and this is the most size I've taken SMCI with, but I feel really good about this trade. 50 cents in the money right now. I got involved at 615. Like I said, risking $1.50. I'm looking for 619.50s. For half the positions, that would be $4.50. That is the 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. I can live with that. My next level is going to be that 623s, which 623s was a huge level for me yesterday. I tried. You guys all saw me take a really trade on that 623, but 623 was still a level even if I played it wrong. So let's see what happens as we get some green coming into this book. If you hear me squealing, SMCI is probably doing well. Also, if we can't get to 619, if I see anything I don't like on the book, I have to trust myself. I'll get out at 618s. I can live with that. I can also live with being $1 in the money in SMCI. Woo! How are you doing over here, Sharif? What are you shorted? You're looking at?
Yeah, I just took Apple short. We're going to give this one the old college try. It was ranging from 227 to 226.50. We're going to give this one a try, but the trade that I'm quite proud of is this Zoom trade. You know, I love to take these trend trades. Took a bit of a bigger position at the break of 67. It was whiffling, it was waffling, and we were able to take about 50 pennies on this one, so I was kind of happy with this one. Zoom is so strong, up 12 and a fifth right now. I'm going to look for more possible trades on this one, but we're going to nurse this Apple trade. I'm going to give it to about, that's the mistake right there. So we got to put in that level. We're going to give it the, it looks like it's going to break out here. So we might get stopped out of this one. Super quick to start the day, but that's fine. That's how trading is like. Looks like Apple is breaking that 227, 226.5 range. That's fine. We'll look to set something else differently on this one. There is the volume weighted average price right at around 227.40-ish or so. So I'm about a penny away from getting stopped out at the moment, which is fine. So we're going to leave that one, let it do its thing. Otherwise, if we don't get stopped out, then we're going to have to manage it. All right, well, it's zagging, let it do its thing. But we do have this lesson today. We are talking about identifying trends using moving averages. We're talking about the crossovers. We're talking about angles and a whole bunch of other things. So if you use moving averages and you like trends, I know I do, then this is the lesson for you today. But let me just set up some stuff here on AAPL before we get going. So if we do get printed to the downside, I want to be able to wet my beak, possibly. We'll put it at the 80s or something. We'll put it right there. So we'll leave that one to be. All right, let's start the lesson du jour, everybody. Thank you for joining Adara and I on How to Trade. Again, we're talking about identifying trends using moving averages. So let's get right to it. There we go. Lesson, August 22nd. Let me just make sure that this one, yeah, perfect. All right. Let's start, as we typically do, with, the more basic explanation of things. So understanding trends. So essentially, most of us know what a trend is. A trend is a sustained movement of prices in a particular direction, can uptrends or downtrends. Identifying the trend obviously is crucial for successful trading because it helps you determine the overall market sentiment and your potential profit targets, right? If you know exactly where to take profit, makes things a little bit easier. So we want to talk about using moving averages in order to actually understand the trend. So the first thing we're going to talk about is crossovers, right? So this is basically when a shorter term moving average crosses above a long-term moving average. It can signal a bullish trend reversal. Conversely, works the same way to the downside. When a shorter-term MA, moving average, crosses below a longer-term MA, it can signal a bearish trend reversal. We'll get more into that. Let's just explain the three types of ways we're going to use moving averages today. So the first is crossovers, as we've explained right there. The second is slope. So this one is a more seldomly used way for moving average. So let's talk about this one. So the slope of a moving average, it can indicate the strength of a trend. A steeply sloping moving average suggests a strong trend, while, a flat moving average suggests a weaker or no trend. And I'll show you what I mean by it in a second. And last but not least, price action. So moving averages can be used to confirm price action. For example, if you consistently are bouncing off a certain moving average, that can basically give you the idea that it's supporting the bullish trend. Or conversely, if it's consistently rejecting off a moving average to the downside, it's basically supporting the bearish trend. So let's talk about what this is. So we talked about crossovers. So right here in this image, the black line is a 200 moving average, and the red line is the 50. So these two, used in combination with one another, are some of the most widely used moving average pairs. And, we often call the bull cross, which is when the 50 crosses above the 200 to the north side, we call that the golden cross. And when the 50 crosses the 200 to the downside, we call that the death cross, okay? And so that's the first. We're going to get more nuance with it, but just want to explain to you kind of what it looks like when moving averages cross. The second thing is the slope. So this is GDC's chart from yesterday, and Adara put this on the watch list today again. So look at the slope of this green line over here. That's the 10 exponential on the 5. Look how aggressive the slope is. So the more aggressive the slope, and Obi uses this as well, but he uses it in more of the trend lines. When the trend line slope is super aggressive, or when the moving average slope is super aggressive, it increases the likelihood for reversion, and it makes the reversion more violent. So the more violent on the way up, it's not a hard and fast rule, but more likely than not, it will be violent or equally as violent on the way down. So you're like, well, how do I know the angles? I mean, there's certain software programs that will gauge the angle of the moving average. I haven't encountered a software program that, the trend line. It'll gauge the average of the angle of the trend line. I haven't encountered a software program that gauges the angle of the moving average, though, sadly. So you'll have to figure out a way on your own. But in any event, this is what we're talking about when we talk about aggressively sloped moving averages. It's this kind of thing over here that we see on GDC, or we saw on GDC yesterday. Last but not least is price action confirmation. And this is what we're talking about, using moving averages to basically confirm that it's staying below a price. It can't even work its way back up there. And this is a perfect example. I mean, the movement down is just so bearish that it's unable to come in and retest the moving average really until it breaks above it over here. So using moving averages for three ways today: crossovers, slope, angle, and price action confirmation. Okay? Let's talk now about the more common moving average combinations for trend confirmation. I kind of prefaced this earlier, but that 50-day and 200-day, I don't want to call it the gold standard, but it kind of is, right? So this combination is often used to identify longer-term trends. Essentially, when the 50-day SMA, we're using this simple moving average here, crosses above the 200 SMA, it is often considered a strong bullish signal, suggesting a potential upward trend. And conversely, when the 50 crosses down below the 200 SMA, it can signal potential downtrend. This combination is particularly useful for identifying major trend changes in the market. So you're not going to want, maybe I'm not going to tell you what to do, but maybe this one is not the best one to use intraday or for shorter term. It apparently gives you the better look long term. But there is a solution for that shorter term, and I'm going to present to you the 20-day and 50-day EMA, not SMA, EMA. Why? Because SMA we like for the longer term look, EMA we like for the shorter because it more heavily weights the more recent price action. So this combination is often used to identify, as I mentioned, shorter term trends. When the 20 EMA crosses above the 50 EMA, it can indicate a bullish trend reversal. All right, in the money here on Apple, about, let's take some out here, Adara, about 20 pennies in the money right there. Yeah, so we get revenge a little bit on Apple on this one. We're going to let this one go up, all right? All right, so it looks like we took out the entire position and a fat finger as per usual. That's okay. So the 20-day moving, the 20-day and the 50-day, right, it can indicate a bullish trend reversal. Conversely, when the 20 EMA crosses below the 50 EMA, it can indicate or it can signal to you a bearish trend reversal. This combination is more responsive to price changes than the 50 and the 200 combination, making it obviously more suitable for that shorter term trading strategy. So the two, and by no means an exhaustive list of the combinations, by no means, okay? I haven't even talked about the 10 or the 100, all right? And here's what we talked about when we talked about the golden cross. The 50-day here depicted as the blue, the black is depicted as a 200, and you get a big boy golden cross right there. We don't have the subsequent price action, but typically it usually moves up after that. Conversely, there's a death cross. The 50 or the red line here is a 200, and the 50 is the black. And yeah, well, it was already coming down before that. So just kind of confirming the trend. So the 50 and the 200, the 20 and the 50, some industry standards there. So some tips for using these moving averages quite effectively. So first and foremost, we need to consider the market conditions. When we originally did the lesson a long time ago on moving averages, I submitted to you guys that moving averages are all but useless in consolidative markets. You're going to get umpteen amount of crossovers, especially the shorter term moving averages. In consolidative markets, they can be an absolute nightmare, all right? You try to base trades on them, and then you end up getting cut up because it's giving you false signals. So we don't like them in consolidative as well as extremely volatile markets. Some other indicators you should be using with moving averages, we kind of gave you this idea yesterday where we included RSI and MACD together. And so you should definitely be exploring the use of moving averages with a moving average convergence divergence, as well as a relative strength indicator for a more robust trading strategy. And you should be looking to adjust the moving average periods. I gave you the 50 and the 200 if you didn't already know, but and I gave you the 20 and the 50. But again, as I mentioned, by no means an exhaustive list. So it's incumbent upon you to experiment with different moving average periods to find the best combination for your specific trading style and time frame. I like to trade off the 5. Maybe I should use specific one. Neil likes the 3. Obi likes the 15, etc. Okay? So we need to all have the moving averages that jive best with our strategy. All right, and here is what we talk about when we say consolidative markets. This is basically a screenshot of IBM's chart from late November 2021 to the end of 2022. And all it did was zig and dang zag. And you had umpteen amount of crossovers here on the moving averages, which probably would have stopped you out to no end. All right. Now, IBM has since found a bit of a trend, but this is kind of what I'm talking about when I'm saying don't use moving averages in markets that look like this, because you're just going to get in a lot of trouble. So that's a look there. To conclude, moving averages are valuable tools for identifying trends in the market. by understanding how to use these MAs and combining them, obviously, with other techniques and indicators, traders can make more informed trading decisions and improve their trading performance, Adara.
Yeah, thank you so much, Sharif, for going over that. I did get out of SPCE. I got stopped out of SPCE. And then SPCE's like, oh, Adara, never mind jokes. I'm still doing my thing 21. And I was like, you could have told me that before. To be clear, you have to follow your plan, right? We got into that 613.50 violently. That was my stop. I got out, executed it perfectly. But like I said, I had more size in that first trade too, right? And what I noticed as well was the SMCI trade mirrored in a lot of ways my first trade with Lily yesterday, where the level was correct. It was building beautifully on the book. And it's not even about P&L, but we were in the money. Things are looking good. The setup was setting up. And then the market had a little hiccup and went, seized. The market fell, and so did the expensive spready stock I was trading. But even though they fell, the setup was still great. We have our little hiccup with the market, and then we're like, back to our regular scheduled pump program now. And I'm like, okay, cool. So I said, you know what I didn't do yesterday with Lily was get back in. So what I did with the SMCI today?
What?
Get back in.
Right.
Smaller position, still risking, like I said, into that 613.50 area. To me, that's still an area that makes sense. But I'm definitely going to be trusting myself with the book. I was actually interested even in, as the market was kind of wiffle-waffling there, I was trying to take a piece out at 617s in my first position there at SMCI. And SMCI was like, no. So I was like, okay, we have no rooms for pieces for dreams, Sharif. It's all or nothing here. We're in that beat to the upside. I mean, to be clear, okay, SNCI, if you want to push up here, I'm cool with that. I want to shout out Darius Golden in the chat, who is here, saying that, basically echoing what I was kind of saying there with regards to some potential resistance areas. He was saying 622. I agree. I think optimistically 623, but 622 could also be an area. Like I said, though, 618 I want to be watching. I initially said 619, but 619 looks like it was more of an area yesterday. Today, 619 or 618 probably more realistic. So we're going to see what we do at 618 because I can't piece anything out because I have literally all the position in here. If we have any issues at 618, I'm getting out at 618. If not, I will be taking that SPCE to the upside to 622. To be clear, this is still a 3-to-1, sorry, not a 3-to-1, 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. You guys know I math mine out weirdly that basically as long as I'm not losing anything, as long as the risk doesn't outweigh the reward, I'm cool with it. In this case, the reward is outweighing the risk, so that is a vibe there. But no, I always say that because I'll do weird, I'll do 1 to 1.25 risk, you know what I mean? I do weird ratios, but this is a 1 to 2, so I'm cool with that. Okay. Still struggling with 616s here. That is my biggest issue with us on the book. We can't do 616s. We'll get above it and then we'll whiffle and we'll waffle. But let's pay a visit to our other spready friend, whose name is Eli Lilly. And I want to talk about my Lilly trade yesterday. I know I talked about it ad nauseum on the market recap, but also on this show. I do apologize, but I think it's really important for the purposes of reflection and learning. And I was saying this to you and I were having this conversation as well. I want to thank you for that. Where I was I got a little bit in my head. I was Lilly's not a day trade stock, whatever. And so I got out, or I didn't get back in when I should have, and that's really upsetting. And so moral of the story is, if you see a stock you like Sharif was putting it, no one knows how to trade these stocks the way you do. You have to have your own style of trading. And if that style is setting up, if things are working, why do you care about anyone's opinion other than your own? There's a chance the wrapper line I really like this will not have you second guess your first mind. You want to trust your first mind. And my first mind today is saying I like Lilly bouncing off VWAP here, but I'm more interested in SPCE. SPCE takes a little bit of a breath to the downside, though not as violently as the market. So keep doing that, SPCE. I heard you pump your fist, but I guess we have something else to pump our fist about.
We do. I'll talk about that in a hot second. Adara, guys, I'm too early. Okay, so then I can talk about the other one, Fabian.
I mean, I want to hear about both.
Well, here it is, Adara. Look, the Katina man just got me 1,000 shares short of FFIE, and it cost me $1. Shout out to Real Dang Trading, the best prop floor around these parts over here, but I took it long because it was holding the 10 exponential on the 1 because I'm trading this on the 1 at the moment. So this one came into 622. I said, Sharif, look, this looks awfully extended off the 10 on the 5. It's time to look for shorts. Hence why the Katina man was able to secure me those shorts. And we're going to shout him out and thank him for that. But here was the look. Look, this is the 10 exponential on the 5 on Faraday. And we talked about yesterday gauging overbought and oversold areas using moving averages. And this looks awfully overbought to me. But the price to action doesn't care about my moving averages. I can only make these assessments and then look to verify them based on the price action. The price action didn't care about the extension away from the 10 on the 5. So I went long. I waited basically, let me show you the 1 minute over here. I waited till it came right into the 1 minute. on the 10 on the 1 minute, and I got long. I took 25 pennies, super quick as you like, right now on that level. So here's what we're going to do, because Fabian's counting down in my ear, so I've got to do this.
Is he?
Yeah, he is. Shout out to him. All right, guys, are you tired of being late to the trade? Are you always playing catch up in this market? Sorry about that, guys. Are you missing out on the big moves because you're too slow to the news? Well, Benzinga Pro is your unfair advantage. Get breaking news alerts up to 30 minutes before everyone else and pinpoint exactly why stocks are moving, and join a thriving community of traders who share their strategies in real time. I wonder where they do that, like here. Ready to see how Benzinga Pro can transform your trading? Visit benzinga.com/pro and get yourself that free 14-day trial. I'm looking at that QR code right there on the screen. I know that if you scan that, it will take you to Benzinga. So shout out to them. And yeah, Adara uses them, in case I didn't mention that before. So there it is. There's the trade that I had, super quick on it. And we'll look to exact more revenge on this one, because it is absolutely in play. Whether long or short, I've got the shorts ready for this one. Shout out again to the Katina man. Here comes $7 on Fifi. Fifi is flying to the high side, baby. Here comes $7. Yeah, sorry, Adara, I got excited.
No,
88.5%, Adara. I mean, like, we got no news on this dang
There's
thing.
a lot to be excited about for Fifi.
We need the EV indicator out here immediately to explain to us what is going on with Faraday. Shout out to Randy. We're kidding about that, of course. How's it going?
Yeah, I'm doing well here. Yeah, sorry guys for the speed there and the talking. Someone was saying Adara could rival mumble rappers. I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, you know, shout out to Playboy Cardi. I don't like this new voice he's doing, but shout out to all those, you know, mumble rap, the SoundCloud era over there. But right now, my head not in a SoundCloud. I did get out of that. That was a terrible transition. Wow. I got out of SMCI here, and I have to say, I feel okay about this. I lost on both trades, but I managed them both appropriately, and I felt really good about both of them. And I want to say I got some flack yesterday for using the word regret. I don't mean regret as emotion. I mean, you have to trade your plan. If your plan sets up and you don't take it, what are you doing, bro? I say to myself. So that was my issue with yesterday with Lily, is I did not trade it appropriately because I didn't get back in. SMCI, to be clear, feel good about both these trades. Risked appropriately for both these trades. Am I down on the day? Sure. But am I up on positivity? Heck yes. And also, I'd be happier that I took these trades that I believed in and lost than if I took, like my issue with Monday, which got me shut down, is I was just like trying to feel alive. I don't know what was happening there. I traded 8 names. Definitely didn't need to trade almost any of them. But now we're getting into the habit of, if I see a name I like, I will take it. Nice. I will risk it, and I will do what I need to do for it. SPCE, I definitely, arguably don't have enough risk for you right now. Shout out to Darius Golden in the chat saying that 618 could be a decent short area for resistance. I don't disagree. I also find it interesting. We're kind of ranging here between 613 and 617. Again, though, I'm not seeing any setups on this. I'm not going to be trading my pal Lily right now either, though. But Lily, again, and guys, to be clear, I only have Lily on my side chart when she's over 1 million volume, because I don't trade her if she's below 1 milli. She has been above 1 milli, though, since getting that beautiful catalyst on Tuesday. And then we had CEO Dave Ricks showing up on CNBC talking about weight loss drugs. That was a good look there. Lily, a little bit of a rejection, not a little bit, a big rejection here on VWAP. This is interesting there too. We closed here at 951.97 yesterday. We opened today at 951.98. So 952. That is nuts for a $1,000 name, Sharif, to open and close like 1 cent apart from each other. That is wild.
That is nuts.
We opened one today 1 cent away from where we closed yesterday. That is interesting to me. That is distinctly different. I don't know in what way, but it means that I want to check out 952. Also, speaking of distinctly different, you actually get Obi and Sharif on this desk tomorrow. I will be here, but I will not be here for la midday. So there will be no, fast talking there. I do. There might be some celebration there, but all jokes aside, yeah, you got to talk how you talk. You got to trade how you trade. And I think that's the biggest thing my issue was yesterday is I was not in my bag. I got the bag and fumbled it. I did not get the bag and flip it and tumble it. Shout out to the Migos. But you know what I mean? I think you got to figure out what your style is and trade that style. Tesla. Some people were asking how I felt about Tesla at this 218 long. I think, this is, to be clear, this is earlier. I think the fact that we have that bottoming tail candle support at 218 is not a bad look. But like I said with Tesla, my general rule with Tesla will be for myself, it's usually a scalp. Right now, I think given the fact we broke below 218 kind of violently, I would like 218 as a short, but that is not my favorite Mag 7 name right now. I said to Sharif, I like all this Apple chip chop, but also I still have eyes on Meta. And Meta is one too that, this is a name as of 2 weeks ago, I rarely traded, but if it sets up, you have to trade it. And like I said, I think because Meta's spreadier, it makes sense this is a name I'm comfortable trading, I think, because I do like those names with spread. 537, if you go to yesterday's 5-minute chart, which I will allow me to show you, 537 was a huge level for Meta. We push up here, we get a bull flag, false bull flag, we bounce off 537, try to wick lower, come back down. Oh, can we hold 537? That would be a heck no. Shoop to the downside. Shoop. Hold that 530 level beautifully. Shoop back up. Look where we reject. That's right. Just above 537s. Shoop back down. So Meta 537 is a level for myself anyway. And if you don't trust your levels, again, whose level are you trusting? Who are you trading for, if not yourself? So we'll see what happens here. My green sweater did not do anything for the market. I know we joke about my sweater having conflicts with the market, but what's no joke is how excited Sharif was for that trade. I want to hear about how you.
And it was pathetic. It was just because I added into the position, and you know I don't typically add, but getting in, covering, getting back in, covering again on the dead one. It's super rangy, guys. I mean, that's what I'm seeing right now. I'm seeing the fuge continuing to make lower lows where, I mean, we blew through 19,900. Now we're talking about 19,800. So we're literally more than 200 points off the top. I forgot that we actually broke 20,000 by 25 points. So look, you know how I trade. I always look for support and resistance at these 100-point levels. It's kind of what I've been programmed to do. And right now we're in front of 19.8. So forgive me for wanting to look for the longs. I get it. It's not a very negative day. We're down 0.46, but I need to see how we act around these parts over here. 19.8. I'm not taking any trades right now until we either break above or below 19.8 on some sort of decisive basis. So everything really very directional, down and to the right, except Apple. And that's what kept me in the long, because it kept bouncing off 22641. 22641 is a closing print from yesterday.
24641. Yeah, it was so close.
That was actually quite good. I don't know. Did you guys have 241 out in Winnipeg? 241, 241 pizza?
No, we have 222, 2222.
Oh, yeah.
Pizza at a great price. Yeah. Shout out to Jerry Cianfloni.
I guess that was the.
It's a local reference. If anyone in Winnipeg is in the chat, you'll get that.
Right. I like it. So yeah, this 226.41 area, that is a closing print, but really what was happening was it was bouncing off the $0.50. And just after I finished singing its praise, it breaks a low, and it's making a new low as we speak, 226.32. We're printing 38, so we're essentially at lows right now on AAPL. Look, man, it's now negative 0.03 in Redsville, but I mean, I don't know if there's a more directional red name today in Mag 7 world than the soft one. Look at this. This is uninterrupted to the dang downside. Microsoft, what a gnarly double top into 426 and change. It didn't even stop at the whole dollar. What 420, Fabian? What 420 with this one? He's like, what? Right? 420. Look at this.
He's making a face at the computer.
Well, yeah, it's okay. You can bully the computer all you want. 419.36. This one is on the way down. In case you guys don't know, Microsoft revised their forward guidance for all the different sectors in the company that they have, or sections, or whatever you want to call departments. The guidance was pretty good. I mean, I didn't think that we'd be received like this, but that's what happens when the mid-quarter guidance comes in. Guys, essentially a 427 high a day. Now we're breaking down below here, 420. We're on the way to the low 419s. Microsoft is very, very weak. Let's do some charting. Let's figure out where possible areas of support we could encounter. So I don't know what this is. Is this an institutional print? No. This is at 4. So why did it do this at 4 o'clock? That's very unusual. Okay, here it comes. So for whatever reason yesterday at the close, we dipped into like 419, right at the 419 area there. Not sure what that's about. Not even sure if that's an accurate print from yesterday. I'll have to go back. But I'm all eyes right now. Softy's awfully weak, man. But I'm looking for a possible 419 defend here based on this print from yesterday at 4 p.m. Let's see if we get a 419 hold up on the soft one right now. Weakness is this one's middle name on the day. Unreal. I haven't seen Softy this directional before, so we're going to have to load up Microsoft now on set chart. So which one are we going to replace? Well, Zoom is still trending, so I'd like to stay in that, and Target. Oh, Target.
Target.
If you come back to 160, I'll short you.
He's making fun of how I talk to the stocks off camera. That is
good, though.
It's scarily accurate is what that impression is.
So we have to load up Microsoft here, Adara, because it's very directional, and we're going to have eyes on this one. I'd like to see a 419 hold up. 419 hold up doesn't come. The trade is not valid. We'll look to the next trade.
yeah, I got into a trade here, and it looks like I will be getting out of a trade here around the same time. But why I liked Snowflake here as a long, you may be like, Adara, this is that low of day. What are you doing, girl? And honestly, I thought that for a second too. But there's a key thing to remember here with Snowflake. It's SSR. Now, is that the only reason to go long? No. But is it part of the balance of your evidence for a long? It totally can be. I talked about this. I had a short in Novo Nordisk, and this was the day after its earnings. I think I ended up like being flat in it. But the biggest thing that kept tripping me out about that short is every time it would get filled, it would jump up. And Novo Nordisk is pretty spready too. It's like too cheap to be as spready as it is. And the thing too is I was like, why is it doing that? And I was like, yeah, because it's SSR. So you have to really remember these SSR names that they can move. I was like, oh, I know this looks bear flaggish. So if we break below the flag, I'm giving this 20 cents, I'm getting out. But I like this idea because I like how we have these higher lows. Instead of, we used to close at support here around that 1730s. Now we're wicking into it. We're just like, and then we bounce. I'm like, okay, guys, let's see what you got to do here at Snowflake. Snowflake, if we break below, okay, yeah, Snowflake, buy Snowflake. It was nice while it lasted. So we had to get out of that area there, unfortunately. But I am really happy I tried it because I did like it. It was a level I liked. And I do think it looks like, okay, what Snowflake will not let me get out of the snowstorm there. I'm trying to get out of the snow fort, Snowflake, and the snow fort's closing in on me. It's a little unfortunate. But you got to do what you got to do is the point I'm trying to make clear. Like, if you see stuff you like, you definitely owe it to yourself to trust that. And it'd be nicer, too, if you got filled. But it's all good there, baby. Yeah, Snowflake is, that snow is falling, and that snow is not allowing me to get out of it. So that's cool. Yeah, this is... Okay, sorry, I'm gonna have to pass it off to you for a second.
Yeah,
sure.
No problem. I just got stopped out of my short on Faraday. Look, man, it put in another like gnarly red candle. I'm like, okay, finally, maybe we'll retrace down into the 10 exponential on the 5. No, no. Not yet anyway. And I was watching, I was looking. I'm like, okay, we topping tailed a couple of times into 7. So 2 topping tail candles into 7. Could we start getting that rounded top? Maybe. But I was too early to the party. I'm still not going to let this one off the hook. I don't know what the hell is going on in Faraday Future World, and I don't care. I just know that it's without a catalyst, and at some point, this thing's going to zig and zag, and I want to be part of that love, right? We want to be part of that downward love, because the Katina man was nice enough to get us shorts, baby. So we'll take it down. The Katina man says NVIDIA's collapsing. Oh my God. The market's collapsing, Katina man. Everything is on the way down. He's $2 in the money right now on NVIDIA. Taking that big boy 129 short. Now it's breaking into 127. Big moves there with the Katina man on the short as the future gives up 19.8. Now we're well over 200 points off the top and everything. Without exception is what I'm trying to say. Without lacking eloquence right now. But everything is on the way. So
is the market, so that's fair.
Yeah, unless you're short, then you're really happy. Then you're like, this is eloquent city.
Yeah, you're right. And you know it's the most eloquent of markets. Yeah,
yeah, well, the Katina best probably feel pretty eloquent right now. 2-bagger in the money there, so shout out to him. But we did give up 19.8 on the future. But I was looking at Faraday. I'm still very interested in the short on Faraday. If we start doing this topping tail into a key level with lower highs and start giving me that rounded top, I'll get short again. So we're not going to let this one off the hook. Definitely off highs. And the reason I keep looking at this, it's too extended off the 5, off the 10 exponential on the 5. And that's how these small cap gappers trade. So we'll keep eyes on this one, Adara. Everything good on there?
Yeah, thank you so much for taking over for me there.
Of course.
Guys, if there's any stocks you want to look at, vote in the chat, exclamation point, join space, $, whatever tickers are fancy. Maybe it's like, I saw someone asking about MU. I'll look at that in a second. Maybe it's Zoom, which is now trying to zoom below the 90 MA, and I am not going to take it because I'll talk about Snowflake in a minute. But wow, there's so many interesting things going on in this market. And if you want to know what's happening, if you want to know why Sharif just said bang to Fifi, which I'm almost positive will be on the rundown today, let us know, guys. That segment is brought to you by Real Trading. Also, Zoom is brought to you by, this looks like a reversion. That worked better in my head. We're below the 90 MA here. We're like 67.40. Look at that previous support, okay?
Pushback.
Then we hold, yeah, it was a pushback.
Okay.
Then we hold the 90 MA. Then we break the 90 MA, and then we don't go short because we don't have a lot of risk because Snowflake things happen. I want to talk about Snowflake. So I have never seen a stock that is not spready, not let you leave. I could not get filled. I do not know what was happening there. And then I think because I couldn't get filled, I was like what's happening? And so then I was like, there were like there were some typo trades there. I'm not shut down, but like it is a near thing. And you know what's funny is SMCI, which, like I said, took 2 L's in that. I have no issues with how I traded SMCI. I traded it appropriately. I traded it according to my plan. That was solid. Even Snowflake, I had a plan here. But, like, you're not going to give me a fail, Snowflake? You're like, leave me in a snow fort with, like, you know, ice over my face? I don't like that. If something really sets up, I have no qualms. I'm qualmless, Sharif. I'll go in if something really sets up. We're really going to wait to see if the thing set up. You know, sometimes, oddly, my best days are when things are really stacked against me. Or at least sometimes I feel like I trade better when you got things stacked against you. So I don't know if we're not making any stacks here. I'll put it very clearly. No stacks to be made here. But that being said, really happy with what I did with SPCE, regardless of what the P&L said. And the P&L would be like, Adara, what are you talking about, girl? But yeah, we'll see what happens here. That snow was really disappointing that I just could not get filled on that. I've never really seen that happen on a stock that is not at all spready. So good vibes, Katina, but not good vibes, Snowflake. MU, someone was asking about here. Let's see if there's anything macro going on in Micron. I appreciate you saying to that pun that didn't really deserve it. That's very kind of you. But MU here, this one's down about 1 1/3%. Oh, okay. You know what I have to say about Micron? Lower highs, lower lows, but I love this 108.45 level. Look at that support we had in the pre. Look at that flippity-floppity that we did here at 10.05. We wick into it once, wick into it twice. We don't do it thrice. We sell off, we throw it to the downside, then we come back up. Oh, we got 108.50. No, we don't. We sell right back down. So Micron here, if we cannot get above that 108.50, I would say big yikes, to put it nicely. I find this 107.30 area kind of interesting, that we had some chop, some churn, a little bit of rest there. Then we chip, we chop, and then we sell to the downside. So 107.30 a bit interesting, but not nearly as interesting at 108.50, which almost had me do a pushback. Not quite, but almost. Another chip before we chip it off to Sharif, who I know is pleased. But you've had a great day today. I want to shout you out for that. But Broadcom here, someone was asking my thoughts on Broadcom with the catalyst. So we looked for that catalyst on Broadcom. All I was seeing in Broadcom was a positive analyst note from JP Morgan with regards to some of Broadcom's earlier catalysts. So they do have that deal with OpenAI, which we knew about. This chart to me is not like there's not a lot of chart history happening here. It looks like kind of abstract art. They just threw some paint at the wall. By that I mean there's not a lot of clear direction. The only level I see that I like is 169. Chip, chop, wick up, bleh, come back up here, get to 169. Bleh. So we don't like 169, that is for sure. But I used this earlier with Sharif off camera, but much like the Future Metro Booming album, we don't trust you. That's what I have to say to AVGO. There's not a lot of levels for me. We're at low of day. Someone appreciating that album. Was that Ramin? Yes, because I know she liked that album. She and I were listening to that one day here. So please as punch about that. Not pleased as punch with my Snowflake trade, but sometimes things happen and you just don't get filled and you cannot be crying over spilt milk. Is this my worst week since going live? Almost without a doubt. But did I learn a lot this week? Yeah. And is that what matters? Not to your P&L, but to your heart. How are you doing?
I got stopped out of the remaining amount there on my Faraday. We had a profitable short. Initially got in another short and then added to that one. Then I'm negative on it now. So it's a lesson in context there. I'm still not letting this one off the hook. It's still zagging in front of 7. What's going on over there, Katina, man? NVIDIA's collapsing, says the Katima. I see everything is really headed down. There's blood everywhere. There's blood on the streets, Adara.
There is.
Everywhere right now in Mag 7
world. There's blood in the
world.
Cybertruck.
Yeah, by the way, my buddy got to go in the Cybertruck, which I'm really upset about, by the way.
I told Sharif, get thee to the Sherway Gardens to go to that Cybertruck.
That's where he is, because I know that's where he lives around there. So that's the look there. So we're gonna get short again over here on said what's it called? Faraday. Where are we short? There we go. All right. Well, let's put a couple of beak wetters and then see exactly what comes. But yeah, this is the look right now on the said futures. I mean, I really should. I need to stop trading Faraday right now because everything is headed down. There is nothing being spared. Tesla. We got every day. I don't need to read out the Mag 7 to you guys. And I don't know where the support levels are because I'm on the 5-minute. I need to look a little bit deeper. But yeah, this is awfully bad. And we just got printed there on Faraday. Again to the downside. Let's go, Faraday. I want more, baby. Let's get 20. Here comes. Here 20 pennies. I'm going to cover at 69s. Waiting for that print. And there it is again on Faraday, defending 7. We're going to take this short again if it comes up to 7. Dang, Faraday. All right, let's see what else we got over here. Everything. Okay, we need to short one of these Mag 7 names, Adara, because everything.
I feel in the same way.
Huh?
I'm feeling the same way.
Yeah,
So
everything is bleeding. I'm wasting my time here taking 20, 30 pennies on Faraday. There could be dollars at play here in some of these names. It's just about which one and where. I do not like punching in at lows or at highs. I'm just not that kind of trader. I need a support or resistance level off which to get in. So this to me is just, it's just not ideal. It's not ideal for me. Okay, so let's look at some technicals here. Let's stop getting emotional about things. Hey, Meta looks the best out of the bunch.
Yeah, it does.
Meta looks the best out of the bunch. Reason being, it's just barely negative right now. 0.07. It's literally at break even. 535, I think in a quarter-ish is the break-even point, or a fifth-ish or whatever. So holds up here. Meta could absolutely mean revert up a storm. Possibly another $10. It's down $10 off the high exactly. So we'll see if this one can mean revert. But I don't want to start looking for mean reversion trades. Because the move still is down. We're well below 19.8. We didn't hold up at 19.9. We didn't hold up at 19.8. For whatever reason here, we're finding a bit of a bid at 19.7 and a third. Oh boy. Oh boy. You're going to be hearing more of that tomorrow because it will be Obi. Yes. As Adara has an appointment tomorrow during the midday.
I might still make some cameos in the chat. Watch out, guys.
There you go. I knew you were going to do it. But yeah, there's Meta. Yeah, Meta now, we were just singing its praise, and it is now breaking down decisively below that 535 and a quarter now, down into 534. The blood just won't stop shedding right now on these Mag 7 names. Everything now headed down into the right Adair.
Yeah, sorry guys, I'm not in any trades right now. Like I said, that oddly enough, it's so funny when you've traded two names and the one that you're like, oh, it messed me up is not the $600 name. It is in fact Snowflake. But like I said, not being able to get out of Snowflake was like, that was weird, tripped me out. But does that mean I'm not taking any trades? No. You guys know what I'm like. Sometimes I'll get like, you know, the risk will stack up. But if I see something I love, I'm getting involved, but only if I see something I love. Right now, there's nothing I love. And oddly enough, and I know this is going to be like, Adara, didn't you just say this is a rough day for you?
What is happening?
Yeah, but you know what I'm looking at? SPY. You guys know what I like on the SPY? It's whole dollar breakdowns. And that 558 level I'm obsessed with. So if we get this clean breakdown, Sharif, someone's going short.
Adara.
But I'm waiting. I need to wait. Like, I'm not getting short till I see what I want to see here. Let's do it.
Down.
So either this goes well or we're done. Like, this is literally, guys, this is a do or die moment here for me. We're gonna have to see. Oh my gosh, okay. That's what you gotta do. That's why you can't be scared, Sharif. You can't be scared.
Get it,
You're gonna take 20 pennies in the SPY. You're gonna be pleased as punch. Let's go.
Bang.
Okay, that's what confidence is about. That's what confidence is about. You can be down on the day, but that doesn't mean you're out on the day. And that's what matters. That 558 level too, I like my whole dollar breaks, but 558 I was keeping yapping about for the last 2 days. If that was support, why was I not taking it? Could it have gone down more? Absolutely. I don't have a $3 winner. I have a 20-cent winner. But shout out to Sean was saying, like, he's like, oh yeah, Adara, I'll look at 20-cent winner. And Sharif will be like, oh, great job. And like, I'll take that. I'll take it.
Why not?
You know, you got to be positive about whatever you're having here. Okay, this was a trade multiple days in the making. I'll take my 20 cents. This market is crying, though, and Sean is a $3 winner. $4 winner. I take it back, guys. I take it back.
4-banger. I didn't take a 50-penny winner on the SPY, but I shorted the TQQs as basically just right when Adara dropped as well, and we were able to take, what did we take there? We took about 20 pennies. Not too bad, not too bad. On the TQQs, down now 3 1/5. The NQ itself, not the TQQs, the NQ itself, the September contract, very much bleeding up a storm. It is now 1% in negative land. Let me tell you about some of the other indexes. It is the NASDAQ outperforming every other index to the downside. It seems as if the Dow is faring the best, 0.42. The ES, second in Redsville, down 0.6, and then the Russ taking on the chin as well, down about 0.7 at the moment. But everything bleeding. See ya, wouldn't want to be ya. Shout out to the Katina man who's still printing.
Shout out to Katina.
Oh, shout out to Katina. There goes the 7 break on Fifi. So this could be the long look, man. I keep looking short on Fifi, and we had a couple of good profitable trades on it. But Fifi is headed up. Faraday futures breaking through 7. It's putting in higher lows, higher highs. This is in play. It's 103% at the moment. There is still no headline on Faraday futures. I've been looking. Yeah, we don't need one because it's a technical breakout. Who cares? Let's see if it comes back in and tests 7. We'll get something possibly off there. Maybe it doesn't give you exactly 7. Maybe we got to wait at 7/10s. Maybe it doesn't come back in there at all. Faraday futures awfully strong here. Thankfully, it was able to short it without getting shellacked. Look at this thing go, bro. Faraday is going to halt here at 7 2/3. 66 is stacking up on the ask. Let's see if the bid is stacking up huge on the bid. 2 more seconds, we halt. Let's see if it's a false halt. It's going to go gray in a second here. There it is. So we are halted. 765 now on FFIE up 113%. Wow. What a move on Faraday, man. Whew. Yeah, this is an emotional day, and we haven't even hit the hour mark on the show yet. Dang. Okay, let's get it back. Yeah, Imperial Musician fan, Faraday Futures is halted, 765. Let me give you the deets. I'll load this up on my side chart. We should have the TAP, the theoretical auction price, because it is a NASDAQ name, and we do. So right now it is 1 penny above the halt price. 766 is the theoretical auction price. Now, for newer traders who are not familiar with volatility halts, we get them in increments of 5, meaning they get halted, paused for 5 minutes at a time. Doesn't mean it's going to be 5 minutes. It's either 5, 10, 15, etc. Now, that's for volatility halts. News pending halts, that's a different beast, and that can unhalt at any time. All right, so this one, 11:45:54. Okay, so that's when we should be open. Say again? The Katina Man is now long NVIDIA again as the future's heading back up. Yeah, it looks like we're back above 19.7 here, Katina Man. So, yeah, the Katina Man is back long. You're in at what, 124.5? 124.51, the Katina Man, as long as $1 in the money right now. So shout out to the Katina Man catching that bottom. But Faraday, we're looking at this being, sorry. So I said it was halted 11:45:54. We are 11:47:39 right now. So if you don't have an atomic clock, you're going to need one for these halters, or otherwise just use the clock on your time and sales. That's what a lot of the traders do on the floor over here. So that's it right there. What's your look, Adara?
Yeah, so my look is, and I guess, sorry guys, I know like I only had one trade throughout the little move. Like I said, I was only going to be taking trades that I felt crazy probability about. The reason I waited so long for the SPY 2 is because that my level on the SPY for a couple days has been that 558. We really struggled to break that 558, so I knew if we broke that, it'd be gorgeous, but I wouldn't be getting in until we broke it. So that's what happened there with the SPY short. Like I said, you know what the thing is? You could, like it's only been an hour in, and like I said, we got a little bit, the Snowflake kind of like froze me out a little bit of hypothermia there for my trading. But does that stop you? No. It just means you have to push harder. It means you have to wait for those opportunities, and that's what you should be doing in the first place. So honestly, that's SPY. I enjoyed that SPY trade. I'm not gonna lie, plays a sponge.
Nice.
Was it a huge winner? No. But like I said, it was not about the P&L. It was about the progress and the learning. It was about going after that, knowing that if I lost that SPY trade, I would get shut down. That was like how little we were working with there. So that's what matters. It's about those do or die moments. Sure. When your back's against the wall, what do? You push harder.
Bang.
So the SPY, like I said, my playbook for the SPY is always going to be whole dollar breaks. The other caveat to my playbook with the SPY is if there's something I like on the book, I'll get involved, and that's where 558 came in. That was like double confluence. Shout out to tomorrow's special guest there, Obi. But the SPY does not want to break 557. Look at this like war. We've got like buyers, we've got sellers. Look at this like crazy tape coming in. All this strong green coming in, and then some of that pink, which like pink for me is my red. I like the book to look pretty. But so I think this 557.33 shaping up decently here as support. Look at also here, that's about where we were last time. I'm not getting involved in this. If we break back above 558 and hold, I'm going long 558. 100%. 1,000%. I have enough that I can risk that. I can take more size actually now. So 558. And again, not trading P&L, taking opportunities that make sense. That's what matters. So go for those. And if you see something, if you're like, oh, like this is either going to work or not work, I mean, you got to take it if you believe in it. So I do like this SPY 557.30. For me, the higher probability trade is SPY 558, which is why I'm waiting for that long. Zoom here as well was zooming around near there by that. Okay, so we missed that break there on Zoom. The other reason I didn't hop into Zoom is because Zoom is spready. I know I like spready names, but I like spready names on like expensive stocks where like they make sense. You know what I mean? You could be like, oh, like we've got a larger spread, close to $1. If you see us pushing up here on the bid and trying to slap the ask, then we know, I like to enunciate, then we know there's gonna be some kind of opportunity happening here, right? Some opportunity. Otherwise, it's just like chip choppity and I have no read on that. If we break below that 67, though, I like that. Like I said, my initial level on this was that 67.40, but we had a lot of like false breaks of that, so I wasn't vibing. 67, though, look where we had that support earlier. Look at all these times we tried to wick it and break it. You know what we couldn't do? Break it.
What?
We break it now, I'm interested. Also, the Qs are pushing higher, but I've noticed the Qs and the Zoom move in opposite ways. We had a big move down in the Zoom, on the Qs, the Zoom pushes up. Qs move up, Zoom pushes down. I don't understand what Zoom is doing here, and I don't think it cares about the future, so I'm going to be trading this without the future. Shout out to Future and Metro Boomin again here, I guess. But I say to Zoom, we still don't trust you. But if you set up, I will trade you. Also, guys, if there's anything you like in the chat, ! joy, space, $, ticker, whatever ticker you're interested in. Again, guys, sorry I'm not in any trades right now, but when something sets up, you guys know I will hit it with the viciousness, with the swiftness, with the intensity. And you guys know there will be some hooping and hollering and whooping over here on this chat. But guys, definitely let us know what you are trading, and that's the way you can do it. Shout out to Real Trading, ! join, space, $, ticker. And look at that, Zoom bouncing off the 67s. I'm going to wait here. Like I said, my big white whale trade right now, though, SPY 558 if that breaks up, because we held that 557.30. I stand by not getting involved there because that's like basically low of days. Getting long low of days meta yesterday I was fine with because I loved that level. SPY, let's wait and see what happens. Are you back in FIFA?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
How do you feel about
Dara.
FIFA,
Good.
Sharif?
Just took some out there. We're going to take out the rest break even. Just took 20 pennies quick as you like on this trade.
Nice.
All right. So we're going to keep taking this trade. Now, I really want to get in near 7. I mean, I don't get to choose, obviously, but something around 7. Come on. There's all sorts of resistance there from earlier. It whiffled, it waffled. I mean, this is what I the kind of setups I like. You know, the obvious area of resistance, and then, you know, the break aggressively through it like we have over here, then coming back in to test it. It doesn't look like it's going to come back, and we're going to take out 8. This thing is on the way up 120%. I'm looking at the book here to see where the size is. There just isn't size anywhere on the ask except at the whole dollar. Is it still tanking, or are we going up on NVIDIA? The Katina man is long Apple and NVIDIA at these levels. So he's looking for the mean reversion trade there. So keep your eye out on More Trader TV. If you don't know what More Trader TV is, Bears versus Bulls, we'll throw that in the chat. It is our other simultaneous channel. Thank you, Ram. You can see there the Katina man, long Disney, long Apple, long NVIDIA. Look at Neil's positions, very similar. Long NVIDIA, long Apple, long Rivian, short Intel. Come on, Neil, short Intel. Come on, no. No, I'm kidding, of course. We it broke the low, he says. You broke the low. So, yeah, he's a technical trader, and that's the way it is. So, yeah, absolutely make sure you are keeping your eye on More Trader TV. The big kahunas are trading up a storm right now, and if you want to see what they're trading, you're going to have to look at More Trader TV. Unreal Fifi. Fifi is flying through the high side. There goes 8. We're 125% in the clear right now. Yeah, I took that one out too quick. Just all the volatility right now in this name. It's just about where you get in. I want to see something possibly at 8. No breaks on this name. It is all gas and nitrous oxide and everything else they can throw at in the engine over here. Great day for Fifi on, for small cap traders. Maybe if you're a Mag 7 trader, you don't really care about Faraday futures, but I care. So we'll keep tabs on this one. Coming back into 8, we'll look to see if it can hold up at the whole dollar. So, wow, that's a whole lot of excitement there, super quick. So that's the look. Who's calling me? Someone by the name of Patricia Barber is calling me. I don't know who Patricia Barber is. So we're sending her to voicemail, Ram. Yeah, I know. We should have answered her on the show. Yeah, she was.
Ramin was so frustrated with you for that.
All right, so that's the look there. I did have something to say, but I completely forgot because of all the excitement. Tisha, you took it. Oh my God. Sharif, I had closed up everything. Sick trade. Thank you. And she's shouting out you as well. Adara, shout out to you as well. Obviously, Adara had a sick trade on the SPY. So we're going to shout. Oh, he's back. Okay.
Oh.
The Mara indicator has returned. And the Mara indicator today basically dominated Mara. So we want to shout out Big Patty Ice because he printed up a storm today on Mara, and I couldn't be happier for him. One of my favorite guys there on the floor. BP, the Katina man is also long meta at the moment. So now he's looking to take the Zuck train back long. It's already $1 in the money. I mean, that kind of, I kind of knew that, Katina man. Shout out to you. 533, 533. What's your luck?
Yeah, so Microsoft, I tried to take a short here at that 417.80s. I watched, oh, now you're gonna work Microsoft? Are you kidding me? But no, I like Microsoft here as a short because way weaker than the market. The market's pushing up. Microsoft's like, do I care? No. So I was gonna get out for, I will admit, my issue here is my execution. Guy's short, like I said, we're not playing with house money. We're playing with whatever that opposite house money is. We're playing with like a loan shark on the other side of the door, okay? Like being like, nah. So I want to, like I said, that's definitely happened here, went heavy. But so I was basically looking for, I watched a couple times to see us fail 418. We failed 418. Blah, blah, blah. So I said, Derek, go short, 417.80s. That worked for half a second. Then I noticed the book. I don't like how we're pushing into 418s. I get out for 1790s. If I had waited till, like even then, though, we're still seeing a lot of green here in the book, like whatever, I made the decision I made. But I waited here. The process was okay. The execution was meh. Waiting for those great opportunities to trade. Sorry, guys, I'm not taking like all of the trades in the world, but if there's something that sets up, absolutely, I will go for it. If I get my SPY 558, I'm willing to slam into that. Like I'm cool with that.
I want to shout out. I want to remind everybody, Adara, that they, like, if you guys aren't voting, you're not going to be able to see how Sean and Neil are trading these names. That's the thing. You guys are constantly asking us, what's Sean doing? What's Neil doing? So get into the chat right now. Vote for your favorite names. Faraday's flying. The Katina man is long Mara. Do you want to see how he traded Mara? Do you want to hear shout out Big Patty Ice? Get into the chat right now. Exclamation point, join, space, $, and vote for Mara. Let's see what other people have voted for over here. Let's just go back up, see what the votes have been looking like. All right, we'll move back up because, well, there it is. Chris Rodriguez, he wants to know about Peloton. Peloton's up a big boy today. Shout out to Chris Rodriguez. Do you guys want to see what Peloton did? Vote for Peloton. Who else voted over here? Moving up. Yeah, see, the votes are light today. Bao, he wants to see PSNY, a name that I hold in my long-term account, Polestar. Julia C wants to see how the boys traded Qs. But Julia, you, yeah, shout out to you. You typed it in right. So there you go. Get into the chat right now. SMCI, says Vic Novak. Do you want to see how the boys traded SMCI or how they would have traded it? Get into the chat. Vote for your favorite names every day. It's super simple. Exclamation point, join. And then space, and then the $, which is shift 4, by the way, and get your vote in every day. Shout out to you, Katina, man. I know you've got a few longs there, and they're all going up because NVIDIA's on the way up, Apple's on the way up, Meta's on the way up. Could we have the mean reversion trade today, Adair,
I
to the
think we
long
might.
side? Oh, baby. Say the Katina man is at the highest spot he's been at all day. Shout out to him. What a recovery. We're going to see this market looks like it's going back up. 19.7 here, Dara. We could be moving up back into 226 on Apple. We're at 535 on Meta. Lots of strength coming in here.
Yeah, I missed my 558 long on the SPY. Unfortunately, couldn't get filled. But my eyes look so sad there. Oh my gosh. But if we come back to this 558.10, if there's any kind of dip buy opportunity, I will get involved. Like I said, my only playbooks for the SPY are whole dollar breaks and levels I like on the book and the chart. You know what? 558 is both. So the short was obviously here more successful for me than the long in that I couldn't get into the long. If we try to retest this 558, I'm okay with going long here. But I find generally my stats, my very limited stats, show me that if I try the retest of the long, it's going to be less effective than if I can get involved the first crack. So I don't want to wait there. Go Meta, says Sean there. Go
Faraday
Meta
halting
indeed.
down. Faraday halted down, yeah. Go ahead, sorry.
Oh my gosh, Faraday, you can either trade the futures or you can trade Faraday futures. Don't get those other stocks. But yeah, SPY here, happy to not back in that 558 when I didn't get the first crack at it because we're coming right back down here. That's what patience is about. Jeez. As Burst Bull says in the chat, patience, like P-A-Y.
Oh.
T-I-N-C. Oh, yeah.
I like
patience. Yeah, I want to reflect a little bit here, if I may, on one of the earnings names there that was a little bit flaky for me, and that's Snowflake. Because I keep being like I keep like having like the violins in my head, like do. Adara, why did you go long Snowflake? To be fair, I had reasons, okay? My reasons were we had these higher lows. You're wicking into support here at that 117 whatevers, 117.20, yeah. And we had the higher lows. The book here at 117.50 was beautiful. I was like, go long. It worked for half a second. And then the issue here was not the idea. The idea was fine, but I couldn't get out where I wanted to because of, fills or whatever. And so this did not work out right. So you can't blame yourself. I mean, sorry, you can't blame yourself for things, but you can't be too hard on yourself is what I'm trying to say either. Because It might not be the idea. It has to be like, the balance of the evidence of what's happening in the market.
Bang.
We had the market moving down here. We had an SSR, which I thought was going to help us there. And there were a couple times where we tried to break below and held. To be clear, I didn't mean you can't blame yourself. You can't blame yourself. You should blame yourself. But you can also think of it again as the balance of the evidence. Like, you can't be like, oh, blah, blah, blah. You can't be, you got to stay positive and bullish
100%.
on opportunities, is what I'm trying to say. And that's why I took this buy with, like I said, we had the sharks at our door, you know what I mean? But you took the SPY because you believed in those opportunities. If I believe in any other opportunities, I'm not shut down. I'm a little bit shut out, but I'm not shut down. So we might have maybe a buzzer beater or something. I don't know. We'll see what happens here on these markets. But you honestly don't be discouraged. Shout out to Cindy Lauper. Show your true colors. My true colors this week have been red, but maybe they'll end up matching my sweater. We'll go green. How you doing?
All right, Jensen, how many stocks do you buy per trade? Jensen, we have this rule on the show that we do not discuss position size or P&L, and that is a rule that comes from the higher up. So you can always ask us if we're red or green. Just like the Katina man says, we will always tell you the truth. Right now on the day, let me have a look. I am marginally red. Because of that boneheaded trade on Faraday. So I'll look to get back in Greensville. And I want to talk about Faraday right now because it is coming down into that 7.25. So I was waxing poetic about this to use an Adarism, but this $7 level, I'm all eyes and ears and everything else at $7. Reason being, because we had the 10 exponential there. We have the 10 exponential there on the 5, and we had a lot of resistance, initial resistance at $7. You can see over here, we kept working our way into 7, rejected, came back down 640, worked our way up again, rejected, came back down to 660, and then the big boy break came, and we blew through that level. So I want to see exactly what happens at $7 this time around, since we got well above it. We got over $1.60 above it because the high, I believe, is $8.65. We're halted at 728. Let me see what the tap is right now. The theoretical auction price, 707. So right at that $7 area, I will not have a resting order. I can. It's called a market on open order. I don't know if you guys need that on your platform, but the way to get in while the stock is halted, you can put an MOO, a MOO order, market on open. It's kind of the order that you'd put if you wanted to fill an order right at 9:30, right when the bell rings. You want that initial print, you put a market on open order, it doesn't fill until 9:30. That's kind of the same thing here. All right, so we're waiting here for Faraday to open. It shut down at 11:59.18. It is currently 12:03.22, so we still have about a minute and change with this one, and the tap, I believe, is still the same. 710 now, so a little bit higher than the 707 we saw a little while ago. So Faraday futures, very interesting at these levels, at least for me. Okay, the other interesting level, or the other interesting look right now is the future. Because here's what, or the future and the Mag 7. Here's the look. So you have the likes of the futures looking to get back into 17,000 or 19,750. That'll be the 10 exponential on the 5. You've got a bunch of other Mag 7 names doing that exact same thing. Google at the 10 exponential. Get it, Adara. And Apple at the 10 exponential. Amazon at the 10 exponential. Adara's printed up a storm. I can't wait to hear about this. So a lot of these guys, they're curling right back in. Now, what's the move here? Do we look for a rejection at the 10 exponential? Because it's the first time for some of these names that are actually touching the 10 exponential on the 5 on the day, right? Because they've been so directionally down that the first time that they're curling in, do we look for the shorts here, or do we get a mean reversion trade back up? I mean, we dropped aggressively, guys, about 300 and change, 330 points off the top, more 350 points off the top. But I guess we'll talk about that and a bunch of other things when we do get back, though, from Neil's lesson of the day.
Thank you, Sharif, and it's going to be a good one today. Lesson of the day, always something important to keep in mind. I try to make it something that adjacent to the market that happens in front of us this morning or throughout the day, maybe even yesterday, or a question we have in the chat. So this one's going to be an easy one because there were a lot of opportunities here early on that you could have easily been looking bullish, like a lot of people were, and then it flipped into like the nasty, well, not the nastiest, but a pretty nasty move to the downside. Obviously, we've had worse a couple of weeks ago, Black Monday, all that good stuff, but this is a different move from that. But I think one of the things that happened today that was important was when your initial plans are through their levels, broken any trends that you like, what do you do at that point? And you would have seen I had a few things that we liked. I mean, NVIDIA dip buys, trying to hold that 130, trying to hold that 129 area. We had Snowflake I was looking for, so that's NVIDIA. It tried to hold some lines in there, tried to bounce back higher, tried to hold some higher lows. That doesn't work out. I like Snow for SSR bounces. You couldn't bounce off 120, put in a lower high early in the opening rush in the first half an hour, put in that higher low, I should say, not lower high, made a fresh out, so that's now trending down, got to go away from that. Didn't work out. And when that happens, like, what do you do at that point? So stick with anything that is going to your plan. That's the first point. I had 5 stocks that were trading at the open, and only one of them was trending the way that I liked. And I'm going to give you an example here, because you would have seen the only thing that I was in the entire time this morning was Peloton. It's the only stock that I don't think I was ever not in this long. Of course, now it's through the highs when I'm trailed out of it. But it made that breakout at 4 and held on to that previous high. So in a general sense, whether or not each long setup particularly worked, the general long was still valid in that stock. So the initial breakout, maybe not so great. I said we had the 4 break that went to 410. We dip bought, that didn't work, but then it held that 375 area and went back into trend. So it held the 375, got long back into the trend, added back into it, ended up getting trailed out when it broke the trend line, and it's still continuing higher. So the first thing you can do is, okay, what aspects of your trading plan are completely valid and should still be okay? And then focus on those ones. The other thing I went over to was, okay, well, maybe you can find something that's just relatively strong when you were looking for longs in the first place. That lent me over to Meta, which wasn't a part of my plan, but it was still a pivot. It broke, okay, that's not true. I did tweet about this morning for a 540 break. I didn't get the 540 break. So yes, I was like, yeah, 540 break on Meta, yada, 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 but who cares? I didn't have it. So when that made the breakout and suddenly everything looked like it was reversing, all those longs that weren't working for me, like all over the place, well, one stock was holding VWAP and 540, and that was Meta. So I pivoted over to Meta, started going long off VWAP. We got a first dip buy here that worked out to 542. It then broke down, formed this little bit of a downward trend. So I made another plan of action, which was, okay, if Meta can hold the line, hold some higher lows, get back above the previous trend, I'll take another VWAP long and see if it can go. So I took the VWAP long on Meta. This one got to about, like, I don't know, like $1 in the money, and then broke VWAP. It ends up crushing it to the downside. But at least in that particular case, I'm not just going back to the well on something which is trending down to long because I want it to work. I was trying to find something which is relatively strong that I can go over and sink my teeth into. Now, the other thing you can do is I like one stock short. You can try to stick with it. Lots of frustration on AMD because I had short for under here, break down underneath 158.50, take the short, give it to the local high. Didn't work. Break down under 158.50, take the short, give it to the local high, doesn't work. Now, ultimately, greed is a better part of me here. I was not willing to scalp this out for 30 or 40 cents. The next time it came through, we did take it a third time, got it out to 157.5, but that was out too early. One thing we did is stick to what was working. So if the longs, now by this point, Meta's starting to break down, I'm out of the short in AMD, I observed this continue of the trend through 157. Suddenly, since I trailed out of it, I now have a trend into able to have a plan of action for each trade. This provides me with a new line, a support line that trailed out, a resistance line that gives me an in. See how that is? I like the short anyways. I get out when it actually ended up trapping people out and then sets up more shorts, one of which I don't take, but when it confirms, I have to take. Obviously, you're going to see me get out the way I'm looking at it. It bounced off this low. I trail out off that low. Probably another entry when it rejected down there, but the best you can do is move on to the things that are working for you. You know, and if you have a plan of action in a stock that's setting up the way you like it, go ahead and do that. Limit the loss to make sure your bad ones aren't as bad as, you know, like I'll be down on Apple today, but I'm down 2/3 of what I made on it yesterday. That's the way I like to look at things. You know, it's not necessarily risk to reward on an individual trade so much as, well, when it works, how much do you get out of it in a general sense with your trading style? And then when it doesn't work, okay, well, that's how much it costs you. So it doesn't really matter if you have a great win, if when you lose on that style of trade, it's a heck of a lot worse. And I'll give you one more. I went back over to another name, which I wasn't trading, and I'm actually in it right now, another name that I was not trading, that I remembered the bottom yesterday. So Rivian, I was long off of this low on Rivian, 13. You can see 1285 and then 13 eventually holds. And then it's this support level on Rivian. Well, if the market's breaking lower and I have something that I did like previously off of support, which is holding that support, I can pivot over to that. And then I have a plan of action with that stock because I know what I'm looking for. I saw it yesterday. Look, whether or not it breaks out the top, to me, it doesn't necessarily matter. It did the move where it held 85 and then a higher low adjacent to 13 with some 95. So as you could probably imagine, if that's what it did yesterday, I start going long off VWAP. I go long off of that prior low, prior resistance, double bottom. So again, it sets up a plan of action that I can work off of without having to necessarily find something new. I just went back to what was working yesterday on a Rivian. So right now I'm out of about half of it. If it breaks out, we'll take out the other half. If it breaks down, I'm out. The key thing about those trades is each one of them, as I pivot over to it or look at it, it's not something that I'm coming up with sort of out of thin air. And you saw me searching around for a couple things like what's going to work, like what do I like? Just went to trend pattern on Meta and a breakout level that was holding that we liked before. Liked AMD short underneath a certain level. It was trending down. Keep with the trend line to the downside. Rivian held a double bottom from yesterday that I was aware of. I saw it hold again today with the same higher low. Jump into that trade. So it's not necessarily about reinventing the wheel per se. And there's a reason, like I have maybe 20 symbols on my iPad, of which maybe on a given day I have 5, 6, 7 of them that I actually like for some levels, but I keep the levels from the day before and the day before that. So when I'm looking around for stocks, I know the short list of things that I want to go on over to. You're not going to be up every single day, and your plan of action isn't always going to work. So rather than just sit there and say, I'm going to make this work, the stock that isn't, don't be afraid to pivot to something which is still setting up for a trade that you would take normally. I don't like fighting those stocks. I like being able to move around and say, hey, you know what? This is wrong. Let's go to something which is still potentially right based on my plan of action or a plan that I like to follow. So that's your lesson of the day. Do not be afraid to pivot away from ideas which the market is telling you are bad and then go into the ones or over to the ones that the market is telling you are still valid. No one cares about being stubborn. At the end of the day, the market doesn't care how stubborn you are. It's going to punish you eventually if you want to be that way. So try to stay consistent, limit the losses, and be willing to accept when a plan isn't good and you have to pivot to something that's still good for you. That's your lesson of the day. Good luck, everybody.
Eloquent, informative, and awesome as always. Neil Roberts, guys, every day around that noon hour, he drops the Neilage, an AKA hotline. Neil is a hotline dropper, and that's kind of what he does around here. You know, what's his name? Who was a habitual line stepper? It was Rick James. Rick James was a habitual line stepper. Neil is a habitual line dropper. All right? That's kind of how it works around these parts there. All right. Look, I feel this is a dead cat balance on the futures. I don't know how everybody else feels, but I feel like we're coming into the 10 exponential on a lot of these Mag 7 names, and we're putting in some red candles. So I'm looking short. And this is what I'm looking at right here. Here's the 8 charts, with the top being the actual future. We're at the 10 exponential on all of them except Google. Google's at the 20, okay? Every single one is at the 10 exponential and not breaking through it, the future included. The 10 exponential, in case you're wondering, is the solid green line, not the dotted green line, the solid green line. The dotted are pivot points. So I'm very interested here on the future, or in general, the Mag 7 for the short, Just packing my patience here, looking for a possible entry. But it's about which one I want to choose to get into as well. Amazon looks juicy here. So we're going to take the old, we'll take the old college try here on the Amazon, but it's still putting in strength, dang it. So I'll have to give this to 178. If I get in here, the high is a 177.90. This local area high right here. Okay, I don't want to see any newer highs. I'm looking for the curl down. So if I'm looking for the curl down, what's my end point? Well, my end point is either 178 or 190. So we're just going to have to punch in here and stop waxing poetic about it. And there it is. We're going to get short, and we're going to put our out above the break of 178, and that's just the way it's going to be. So we'll go short. We short at 59s. Let's wet our beak now right at 52s. There it is. So we'll wait for a 52 print showing me 50. Oh, didn't get it. So that's all right. So I'm going to hold off then. I don't want to take it out there. So now we'll look for something a little bit more in the 40s. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to pack my patience. I've given it to 178. 178 is already my line to say. Now, I could DCA into this if I like what I see. Okay? So we'll look for something around the mid-40s, and we'll pack our patience. What's your look at there?
I'm in the SPY. Or I'm not in the SPY. I was in the SPY. That's why I popped my fist. 30-cent winner on the SPY.
Bang.
Got involved. Bang for you.
No, I'm...
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, 30 penny winner.
Thanks. Yeah.
That's going to get a celebration anytime over
I
here.
appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I love the teamwork. Your teamwork is the dream work.
Oh, yeah.
And I also want to shout out the Fifi trades you had over there. I love that you said like the two Fifi. But yeah, so 558, you guys know I have two playbooks, like I said, on the SPY. Whole dollar break. And if there's a level that I like from like previous book watching and tape watching. So the SPY was that for me. I didn't take my first 558 break up. I did not. I saw it broke up and we swooped to the downside there. I don't know what that sound was. We got to 557, like 70s, okay? Then we come back. We tried to break up again. We get to 550. I get involved here, 558, because I like the way we broke up there. And I said, Adara, like to be clear, we had very little to risk. We had everything to lose and also nothing to lose at the same time. It was a weird feeling. But you have to turn off your emotional trade. You have to be dead. So I said, if we see a higher low, you stay in this. You ride this or you die. You feel good about this. If you get shut down on this, you're okay with that because you feel good about the trade. That's what matters is taking risk. And anyways, I'm going to rant about that later. But we got to 558, 557, 80s. I've never seen anything hold like this. It was beautiful. It's like, oh. So I still had conviction. So I stayed in the, oh, I love that sound. That sound gives me happy face. So we stayed there, we bounced. I was like, okay, Darren, chill. Now, let's see if we can hold above 558. We can. Look into this wick we had previously here into 558.20. I said, if we can break above 558.20s, you can break a lot easier. We broke it to 558.20s. I got out 558.30s. A, there was a little bit of pause on the book there. And B, 558.30s. I mean, look here. We're holding this support. It's been a really weird level, right? So 558.30s was a level for me. Also, I've talked a lot about levels in the book for fast move. I read tape differently depending on book, the order book, depending on how the stock moves. Like I said, I look for spreads in the more expensive stocks. On these stocks that fly like mad though without spread, what I'm looking for is I'm looking to see if there's any like cent levels we pause at. We pause that 558.30 here or 557.30. This was like an area we really had a little bit of in, right? So I wanted to watch for that. 558.30 got weird. I got out. I was pleased as punch. Then I tried to get back in. We're holding 558.50s pretty well. I risked 10 cents, got out, lost. It's all good there, baby. But we're really struggling here with 558.70s. So if we can bring above 558.70s and I have an area to get involved now in a long, this is gorgeous to me. It would be all a dream. I used to read trade magazines. I don't know. But bad biggie joke aside, we're going to see what happens here in the SPY. And basically what I'm trying to say here, too, is what I've realized is trust yourself, turn off your emotions, and take those trades that make sense to you. And my first week, I'm pretty sure I was like, oh, like my first week I went live, I was like, oh, whatever. I was green 4 days out of 5. I took no risk. I traded like teeny tiny little stocks. I wasn't comfortable trading. And I got out the second they were in the money because I was scared. That was not, to me, you know, we're represented by real trading. That was not real trading. To me, I'd rather take swings at stocks I really like, take risk and try that, and have it not work out and learn something from it than taking these moves just to make profit. To me, that is that's not the type of trading I want to do. And also, you know, like I feel very lucky that I'm on this prop floor where we get OPM, other people's Mondays. I don't know if anyone knows the song by Dom Kennedy. But the point is, I want to be responsible with that, but I also want to be able to take this opportunity and to learn from it. I love this buy bounce at 70s. That's what I said I was looking for.
Nice.
So we'll see if we can get a fill here. If we come back, I don't think Spy's like, yeah, Dara, as you were yapping about your lessons, I'm just going to be like coasting. Is that cool? I said, yeah, Spy. You got to do what you got to do, man. Great look for the Spy. We'll see what we do here at 559s. That was another level I liked here. I love when multi-day levels come in. Isn't it great, Sharif? I want to hear about your fist bump on Amazon. I like those triangles.
Took 20 pennies, quick as you like, but thankful I scalped it because I feel the winds of change may be coming on this market, Adara. Here we go. So now we're breaking above the 10 exponential on the 5 on most names on the Mag 7. There are a couple of outliers like Tesla. Tesla's having a whole lot of trouble today. Tesla's very weak. I believe it is the worst off Mag 7 name it is down 3% just about. But there, it just took it. So we're getting some greenery here on the future. The future is working back into 19.8. Now Tesla's breaking above the 10 exponential. So is Apple, Amazon. So we'll keep tabs on that. Meta at the 20. Microsoft above the 10. Likewise with goggles. Marginally above the 10 is NVIDIA. So we'll keep tabs on these. I don't know if we get that big boy move back up. We'll have to wait to see what we do with 19.8, but it looks as if some stuff was starting to change a little bit over here. So we'll keep tabs on that. I don't have any trades at the moment. Just took that short on Amazon. Was able to take 20 pennies. Now I'm thinking about taking it long. Quite frankly, because we have a bit of a chasm here, Dara, between that 178, we could call this area possible level of resistance, but it's really more 177.90. We could say 178, but between 178 and 179, there is no resistance levels. So we can get a nice squeeze up at least, theoretically, into that 179 part if we do get above. Now, I don't want to be quick to pull the trigger here on Amazon. Maybe it's not the one to take long. Maybe it's a different one. Because I'm seeing Amazon have all sorts of trouble right now with the 10. While the likes of Meta are above it, so is Microsoft, so is Apple, so is goggles now above the 20. So is Amazon the right name to take long here? Because it seems as if, you know, it's a little whiffly waffly. Somebody in the chat, I forget who, when I was taking the short was like, hey man, take it easy because right now the MACD on the 5 looks bullish. And they're probably right because it looks like it's working its way back up. So I'd like to take something long right now, just unsure exactly what. Maybe it's the T triple Qs, right? Because right now we're rejecting off the 20 exponential on the 5. Let me bring this in over here, but it's not a level I'd like to use. I don't typically use the moving averages on the future all that much. I like to use 100-point levels better, and then areas of resistance and support, obviously closing prints as well. So yeah, man, it looks as if we are really moving up here on some of these names, and I just unsure which one to take. So let's go ahead and take this futures contract long and see come what may. We'll look to what our beat might be here at the 800. So we're about 16 points away from 19.8, give or take. We'll wait at 60s to de-risk a little bit over here. Here we go, moving into 85s. Let's see if we can move into the 90s. There's some selling here at 59s to be expected though. Let's see, moving into 85s. I'd like to see a move into 19.8. I think 19.8, we get a lot of participation in the move up. Now Apple is at the 20 exponential on the 5. Tesla decidedly breaking through the 10 exponential as well. And so is Meta. Meta's breaking through the 20 exponential as I look on my side chart. So it does feel like that there is some strength. There we go. We get filled. Nicely in the money now. Chris Tarr, that was me, looking for the 179. Get it, Chris. Get it, my man. Hey, we can have fun on the show. All right, we're nicely in the money now on this. Now, what's the next move here? Because we're at 89s. So do we make it up, first of all, into 19.8? I don't know. We're whiffling and waffling right now. I'm going to hold on to my position, leave it. I'll risk about 10 pennies on this. I'd like to see a 19.8 touch, maybe 7. It'll be probably around $70.75 if we touch 19.8 on the T triple Qs. Always hard to gauge these levels of equivalency. and maybe not a good idea to do, by the way. Gaurav, Meta looks like a better recovery than others. I agree with you, Gaurav. About to print a hammer candle on the 1 hour. Gaurav, you are not wrong, my man. Meta is now north of the 20 exponential on the 5. Good move up. Here comes the future at 19.8. That was my move, and we're going to take it out here for that. So I'm happy with this trade. It's not the biggest money maker, but it's an accurate trade. So we'll keep continuing with this here, Idera. What's your look on that side of the desk?
Yeah, the look on this side of the desk is I love when like levels are hitting and like that was not English, was it? Okay, so sorry, my brain. Okay, okay. So I like the whole dollar breakouts on the SPY. That was a thing. I liked 559 for a few days. Tried 559 breakout, 559.05 as I got in. I was risking 5 cents. I was like, wanted to see what we did at 559. Break below 559 in a way that is yucky. I get out. And I was going to piece them out. I took a large position. I was going to piece them out here at 559.30s. So that was a 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So I was like, cool, I like that. So it worked out really well initially. Not really well. It was like 15 cents of the money. Then we come down to 559. I don't like what I see. I get out flat. I'm like, I don't have the confidence to be in this trade right now. Then I said, Idera, you like the 559.30. Wait till 559.30. You break up at 559.30, you get long. We get to 559.30. We break out. So I would have been fine in my long, but that's not the point. 559.30, we break out. I say, Idera, 21s will do something for you. If you break below 20s there, 559.20s, that is, and we bounce, that's going to be an area to get back in a long of 559.30s. So you know what we did?
What?
We did that. We bounced. So I was
Bang.
like, so I got long at 559.30s again, a smaller position than I had the last time because you might be able to tell, but it's tired trade rule season, in case you could not tell by the way I was sitting there. But like I said, the biggest tired trade rule for me is always going to be like, is it a stock I liked earlier and levels I liked earlier? Yeah. And that's why I can be tired and sit in this hopefully 30 penny winner here in the SPY as we push higher. Now you might be like, Idera, you're risking 10 pennies here. What's your profit taking level for the SPY? I want to see what we do at 70s because 558.70s was a level. And I know that sounds really arbitrary, but when you watch a lot of order books, like maybe I do, spend a lot of time at the book library, you notice sometimes there are certain days that cent levels will matter. Tesla is like that. SPY is like that. Like I said, the way I read the book in the SPY and Tesla is going to be, shout out to OB, distinctly different from how I read the book in like a Lilly or SPCE. So, okay, if we break above 70s, I'll stay in here. If we can't break above 70s, I'll get, okay. Oh my God, SPY. You want to give, okay, SPY. Nice. Oh, you're too kind. You're too kind, SPY. Okay, let's see what we do at 70s. If we kind of can't get back above 70s, that's not going to be a vibe. I noticed too, these whole dollar levels for the first, like they'll retest and you can get it in a retest, but they're kind of clearing the whole dollar levels really smoothly here in the SPY for the first breakout. So I actually think we could stay here to 5. I honestly think we could get $1 on this. I think we could get 560.30. I believe that because if I know resistance is only at the 30 penny level, then why am I trying to get out a whole dollar? Today, whole dollar is no, it's only mattered on the retest. That being said, as we push back up here, I'm going to be really careful to see what we do. You know what? If you want to say, yeah, SPY, I'll get out of here. I'll get out at 75s. Yeah, if we can't push, if we came back below 70s, that was going to be a wrap for me. So let's see what happens here. I'll take 40 pennies. I have no qualms. I am qualmless, Sharif. I am so qualmless. And I love that I was able to take this trade while really tired because I felt good about it because I had levels I liked. We took 40 cents on the SPY. Could we take it more? Sure. But now I know what levels I like. I like the retest of the whole dollar and I like the breakout above the 30 cent level. Now, will it give you this every time? No, because each dollar level is different. There's different players. But the point is, if you're someone seeing the patterns, there have to be other people seeing the patterns too. So I got out at 69s because what's life without whimsy? Said to Sharif, I was feeling whimsical this morning. The market was not feeling whimsical. The market was feeling, Idera, we will trap you in Snowflake for reasons, and we will give you moments. But you know what you got to do? Keep your dukes up. Keep coming. Keep fighting. Also, snow. Speaking of snow, I don't want to avoid snow just because of earlier, issues with snowfall in my region. Okay, someone is getting really excited. I like that we're above that 117.50 area. That was some resistance there. If we bounce here, what do we do with this wick? This one, if we break 118 cleanly, I'll get in here. I'll be looking. Keep in mind, guys, this is SSR. That did not work in the first long, but if there's stuff that sets up that you like, you got to try things. How you doing, Sharif?
I'm shorting up a storm on Fifi. Because, well, we didn't start up a storm, Idera. I'm just getting excited because, it's a show. We gotta keep everything interesting over here. No, I got short again. Look, the first time on the day, we have breached the 10 exponential moving average on the 5-minute chart on Faraday futures, okay? So I missed this one because I was like trying to confirm that it was an actual break rather than a wick. And, that confirmation gave me a worse price. So I was really looking at that 740 break and I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it, so I had to keep canceling my order and trying to punch back in. So I didn't get the best price, but this could possibly be a double top. Not saying it is. It could possibly be a double top into that 8.5, 8-ish area, and now we're moving down. We have a little bit of a neckline, possible defend here at 7. I don't want to say 7 is going to be decisive. It's not, because the volume weighted average price is still at 650. The reason I mentioned VWAP and 7 and all these other areas is because I have a bit of a bias that I don't like to short these above VWAP. Obviously, I've breached my bias or my rule multiple times today. But what I want to see is what it does, number 1, at 7. Number 2, at 650 at the volume weighted average price. This area here, Ram, because it was this 650 area where we had a lot of whiffling and waffling, or support, I should say, at 650. Now you have VWAP there. So here we go, back into 7 and a 5th right now. So let's see if we can move back down into 7. This candle here at 1225 had a low of exactly 708. 719 is the print right now. Here we go again. So this is making a bit of a low, and you can see kind of a manifestation of a double top. Don't get caught up in the confirmation bias of trying to see patterns that may or may not be there. Sometimes they are, but they don't actually manifest into what you think is going to happen. So $7, very, in my opinion, decisive given this area consolidation, the whole dollar level, the double top at around 8. Here we go. Is there size? Let's look at the book. There is size at the whole dollar level. I'm trying to see here because it's moving too quickly, but it looks like there's about 300 lots. That's what we can see. I submit to you that the majority of the orders are going to come in at Faraday will not be reflected on the book. They will either come in as the price comes into that, or as the stock comes into that price, or they'll be hidden as icebergs, right? That's my belief, because we get so much price action and so much volume that is never reflected on the level 2. And so for that, you're going to have to look at the time and sales. Now, I'll take this opportunity to tell you that if your platform allows you, you can filter the time and sales like but a lot of the other traders on this floor. And what you're trying to do is you're trying to basically slow it down so you can get a better read. So what do you do in order to do that? Well, you filter by size. And so you say to the computer, all right, only orders above 500 shares for Faraday I want to have notice of. Anything below 500, it's not really as influential, and so filter it out, get it off my screen. And you can run multiple level 2s, at least on our platform. So shout out to the best dang prop trading firm around there. It is on your screen right there, Real Trading. We are sponsored by them, and they provide the software, obviously. So looks like it holding up here, Ram, at $7. Ram, you think I should short above 7 or I should wait for the break of 7? Wait. Ram says wait. So we're waiting.
Now you listen to her?
So I can blame her, Adair, if I end up losing, right? So I can just point the finger at Ram.
Why didn't I guess that's what it was? Why didn't I guess?
Neil says that's not cool. Hey, man, I gotta chirp Ram a little bit, It's the way it is. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking at. I've been on Faraday all day. I'm gonna continue to watch Faraday. I like that $7 level either as a bounce or a fail, so I'll keep watching it there. I also want to remind you guys that it's time to vote. If you're not getting into the chat right now and voting for the names that you want to see, like look what Anuchai just put there in the snap. He put $snow. So that's not how you vote, Anuchai. So here's what you do. It's exclamation point $, or exclamation point join the space $, and the ticker of your choice. Neil is right beside me. He's trading up a storm. If you want to see what Neil thinks about your name, you're going to have to get in there into the chat and vote, and get your friends in the chat to vote your way, because sadly, only the top 5 names make it on. There's so much to talk about today. There is Fifi. There's Target. There's Piton. There's Zoom. There's the Mag 7. There's the futures. Get into the chat right now. Ben, you put AMD without putting the word join. So Streamlabs, AI is getting better, but they still don't understand. So you got to go back in there, exclamation point, the word join, space $, and the ticker of your choice there.
Yeah, speaking of names moving today, Snowflake. So Snow, I had an order ready. I was like, let's go long 118 as we break up at 118. We get to 118, then we hold 118.08 weirdly, beautifully. and then we push higher on the ask, and then Snow's like, oh, what, you wanted me to go up? Snow keeps forgetting it's SSR. So we get there, we dropped like 20 pennies. I'm like, okay, good thing you waited, Adara. But you know where we bounced? 117.80. That was going to be where I risk into. So you know what that tells me? That tells me that's a solid area. That tells me that there's a little that goes from snow to ice. But not like ice that cracks easily, like nice strong ice. That being said, this tape is really bamboozling. We'll get all this red coming through here. Fee, fi, fo, fum, says Ramin. Shout out to Ramin and Fabian. They have so much fun every day, and they kill it every single day, and we love having it.
I'll shut up, Fabian.
Being able to be out there. Yeah, he won't shut out Ramin because whatever. But because there's a little beef there. What? I know it's fun. It's just funny. They're sorry. We're
just so dismissive, Adara.
Well, no,
whatever.
Just because. You know what I mean? Yeah. But yeah, if Snow can't break below 118, I'm not shorting it. And to be clear, the reason is not fear. The reason is, again, we don't trust you. This book has been insane. I've never seen a stock move like this. I was telling Sharif off camera. How does this happen when a stock is SSR? You're long trying to get out of the trade and it will not fill you. That is so weird. This book is so weird that I do not want to get involved till I see stuff I really like. That being said, we had so much whiffle and so much waffle here, and we still are holding, and I like this doji. You know what? You know what, Sharif? I'm doing this.
Get it, Darryl.
I'm doing this. I'm risking, because I'm like, you know what? I'm risking here into the 117.80s. That's what I'm risking. I'm risking 20 pennies, and I'm looking to add. I'm starting a baby position. Okay, there we go. I like this. We're starting a baby position. I'm going to add if we break above 35s here, because that was that last area with that beautiful little bottoming tail candle. But also, we have to thank our friends here. We talk about moves, but what about moo moves? That's the thing we really have to talk about here. Shout out to our sponsors at Moo. You know, they're making moo moves. Also, guys, just because I remember this now, we do have an auction coming up at 1 p.m. It's the 30-year. So, perfect. Thank you very much there, Ramin there. I don't even need a screen up. Cool. So are you looking to maximize your idle cash? I'm sure you are, right?
Of course.
Earn 8.1% on idle funds for up to 3 months. Plus, U.S. users can take advantage of up to 15 free stocks and 300 in cash rewards. Hey, Canada, you're not left out. Enjoy 6% on cash balances along with an up to $2,000 commission rebate. Okay, guys, that's exciting. Sign up with Moo to trade on extended trading hours. Trade 4 a.m. to 8 p.m. well beyond regular market hours. And whether you want to react to pre-market news, cash after hours earnings, or simply manage your portfolio with more flexibility, Moo has got you covered. Maximize your trading potential and stay ahead of the curve with extended hours today. For more details and the full terms and conditions, scan the QR code or click the link in the description. That is a very excited ad read. Also, shout out to Moo. As that happened, Snowflake made some Moo moves, and it pushed above 118, and that's what confidence is about. Did I get chopped up on Snowflake earlier? Yeah, and I said, I was saying this earlier in the show, it's odd when you can have, take 2 larger L's on a SPCE and be fine with that because I managed that appropriately and that made sense, and then get all cut up or whatever in Snowflake. But did I like 118? Yeah. Did I saw stuff I liked in the book? Yeah. Am I adding if we get to 118.30 but not in the wiki way we just did there? Yeah. We're 20 pennies in the money, Sharif.
Bang.
And I'm going to start taking profit if we get to 119. And I want to add, like I said, 118.34s because that's what confidence is. You could be very close to getting shut down in the day. You could be down in the day, but you're not going to be out on the day because you believe in yourself and you believe in your opportunities. And if you see stuff you like, why are you not trading it? I don't have an answer for that.
Me either.
Just trade it. That being said, the one trade I feel meh-ish about today that I haven't talked about very much just because there wasn't that much to say, this Microsoft short, I like that we couldn't break below 418. I risked 10 pennies on it. Well, I ended up getting out earlier than I should have for the risk, but I didn't trust what I saw in the book, so I got out. That is going to be a bit of a write-off trade, but you know what's not?
What?
Snow, because snow's not falling, Sharif. It's flurrying to the upside. I'm now that we're in here, I'm gonna basically I know I was initially gonna risk here into 80s, but if we can hold 118s nicely, I'll risk into 118s just because that's not a P&L thing, that's just it makes sense thing. If we're already up here, I don't want to be risking too much. That's what I should have been doing in SMCI too, is taking some profits. Because I was in the money both those trades and I just didn't because SPCE moves in unique little ways. But let's see what happens here on the Snow as we get a couple little topping tail candles on these here futures. Also, someone who's been watching the SPY, that SPY move up really slowed down in those last few 3-minute candles. Darius Golden saying Nvidia news, Benzinga.
Looking.
We're looking here, guys. We're not seeing anything here. I reckon your sweater choice may have been correct, says Vicky Novak. Yeah, that's funny. I was talking to Obi in the kitchen today, and he was like, sweater indicator. And I was like, maybe. But yeah, so good look there. Snowflake holding really beautifully here above 118. Let's see if that snow globe can give me a trade I can be proud of. I don't know what that means.
That was pretty good.
But I tried.
The snow globe
also
thing
vote
was
for,
good.
yeah, thank you. Vote for tickers, guys. Get in that chat, exclamation point, join space, $, whatever ticker. It is brought to you by Real Trading. And you know what else, though?
Whoa.
Thank you very much to James Choi for the $100 super chat. I love you all. Heart emoji. Neil, thank you for the snow peak. Rocket chip.
Wow.
$, $. Adara, I love your energy. Thank you very much, James Choi. I love your energy in the chat. You're always like putting the rockets in that. We're so happy to have this entire community. And I'm going to give this a heart, and I'm going to reply as well. Thank you very much, James Choi. Thank you very much to everybody in this community. And if you want, to have Sean and Neil look at your trades, please put that in the chat and let us know. Thank you, James Choi. Thank you, everyone. And also, 30-year tips auction. We're going to give you the tips on that at 1 p.m. in just 20 minutes. Snow, why do you not want to break above 118.20? Asking for a friend. How are you doing, Sheree?
Wow, that is one hell of a super chat.
So
Drop the cash for my man James Choi there in the chat. Thank you very much for that. I'm short Apple. I'm going to give this one a really short leash. We've been whiffling and waffling above 19.8 on the future, and we're at break-even level right now on Apple. 226.41 is the break-even level. I put a tight stop because I got to do the lesson, but so let's just start. We're going to leave Apple to cook. We either print on this one or we get stopped out, come what may. All right, so we are talking about identifying trends using moving averages. We're talking about moving averages for the rest of the week. There's only tomorrow and then into next week as well. So moving averages will be the focus of our lessons for the next week. So understanding these trends, just basically explain what trends are before we explain using moving averages. I know a lot of people know what this is, but we always have newer viewers. So a trend is a sustained movement of prices in a particular direction. Identifying the trend is crucial for successful trading, as it helps obviously determine the overall market sentiment as well as your potential profit opportunities. Where do you get wet your beak, okay? Using moving averages, though, to identify these trends, let's talk about 3 different strategies to use moving averages to identify trends. The first one is going to be the crossover strategy. In this case, is when a shorter moving average, we use 2 here, a shorter moving average crosses above a longer moving average, it can signal a bullish trend reversal. Conversely, when a shorter moving averages crosses below the longer moving average, it can signal a bearish trend reversal. So keep that in mind. Looks like I'm going to get stopped out of Apple here momentarily. If it breaks above this 47, 226.47, that's where I've kind of given it. Okay. So the second type, I'm not getting stopped out, so that means the thing is not working, which means I need to do it by hand. And that's why you keep an eye out on this stuff, right? Sometimes these script orders, they don't work. So the second method of actually gauging trend using moving average is the slope. How aggressive is the trend? You can gauge that by looking at the angle of the slope of the moving average. I'm going to show you how all these look visually in a second. So the slope of the moving average, as I mentioned, can indicate the strength of the trend. A steeply sloping, moving average suggests a strong trend, while a flat moving average or a less aggressively diagonal one can indicate a weaker or no trend. And last but not least, we compare the price action with the moving average to basically gauge trend that way. Moving averages can be used to confirm the price action. For example, if the price is consistently above that moving average or consistently above a rising moving average, it supports obviously the bullish trend, conversely for the downside. So here's the look. So this is what we talk about when we're talking about crossovers. On this image here, the 50-day moving average is depicted in red and the 200 is depicted in black. And so when you get the cross over here, this is what we're looking at. These levels crossing, indicators crossing. Now, it doesn't seem like it's very useful in this particular instance, and I'll explain to you why moving averages sometimes do this, where there's multiple entries and exits and you don't see a discernible trend. This is a picture depicting the angle of the moving average. This is the intraday chart from GDC from yesterday, so it's quite recent. You can see the green solid line over here. Look at the angle. I'm not a mathematician, but that looks like an 85 degree angle up if you start from the breakout point right here. So the angle of the moving average depicts the trend strength. So it was at 45. You could say, obviously, the trend is not as strong on a 45-degree angle as it is on an 80-degree angle. Now, having said that, even though the trend is stronger on a more aggressive angle like 80 degrees, it also makes it more open for mean reversion, right? The more steep the angle is, the more likely that we revert back a little bit to come back into equilibrium between buyers and sellers. So steepness of angle, sure, it can gauge trend, but it also should put you on the lookout, I guess, for a potential mean reversion. The more steeper, the more steeper the move up, likely the more steep or as steep on the way down. And here is the price action confirmation when we're consistently below a moving average and we don't even come in to test it. And we've seen this multiple times intraday as well. Yeah, you can basically get the obvious trend there. And then when you come back into the moving average, it should put you on suspicion because we've been so extended from the moving average, we haven't touched it. So when it comes back in and actually touches it for the first time, then we know possibly here the winds of change could be coming. It's not a hard, fast rule, but it's another thing to consider in the overall assessment. So what combinations of these moving averages for the crossover method are used most commonly? So I'll submit to you a couple here, one for a longer term analysis, one for a shorter term. The longer term one is going to be the 50 and the 200 simple moving average. So this combination is often used to identify long-term trends. In this case, when the 50 period SMA crosses above the 200 SMA, it's often considered a strong bullish signal suggesting a possible uptrend. Conversely, when the 50 crosses below the 200 EMA, it can signal a potential downtrend, and this combination is particularly useful for identifying major trend changes. So by major, usually it is a bit of a longer term look. But that's not the only combination, nor are these an exhaustive list of combinations. So for shorter term trends, we can look at things like the 20-day and the 50-day EMA, not SMA this time, because we want to more heavily weight the recent price action because we're looking short term. So if you want to more heavily weight the more recent price action, it's incumbent upon you to use the EMA or use the WMA, the weighted moving average that we talked about on Tuesday, okay, which is a customized one. But for the 20 and the 50-day EMA over here, this combination is often used to identify shorter term trends. When the 20 EMA crosses above the 50, it can indicate a bullish trend reversal. Conversely, when the 20 EMA crosses below the 50, it can indicate a bearish trend reversal. And this combination over here of EMAs is more responsive to price changes than the 50 and the 200, making it more suitable for the shorter term trading strategies. And here we go. This is what the 50 and the 200 looks like when it's a golden cross. When the 50 crosses above the 200, we call that the golden cross. Conversely, when the 50 crosses below the 200, we call it the death cross. You know, obviously, colloquially, you'll use names, not a big deal here. Tips. Let's talk about some tips for using these moving averages effectively. The first and the foremost is to consider the market conditions in which you're trading. I'm going to submit to you that moving averages can be quite bamboozling during these consolidative markets. And I showed you a picture. It zigs, it zags. You get one crossover here, another crossover here. What do I do? Do I go long? Do I go short? Well, you're probably using the moving averages during consolidative markets. They don't tend to work all that well. So it's incumbent upon you to figure out, are we trending? And if we are, is it up or down, or are we consolidative? All right. And I also want to say that during very volatile periods, moving averages can be bamboozling as well. You should also look to combine moving averages with other indicators. Yesterday, we gave you that MACD RSI combination. I submit to you that there's so many different moving average technical indicator combinations that you can use. RSI is one, MACD, stochastics, so many different ones. So it's incumbent upon you to figure out which ones you want to use. And last but not least, the 20 and the 50 and the 200, as I said, it's not an exhaustive list of combinations for crossovers. So experiment with different moving average periods to find the combination that works best for your trading style as well as a time frame off which you're trading. I used this before. Adara loves the 3. So does Neil. Obi loves the 15. I like the 1 and the 5. The Katina man uses the 1 and the... 94. Get out of here, 94, bro. He uses the one in something else. He won't tell me right now. But you guys get it. So if the Katina man is using one time frame or a couple of different time frames and Neil's using a different one, they may want to use different moving averages. Doesn't mean that they will. It just means that maybe their look will be a little bit different from how they analyze it. So keep that in mind. Experiment with different moving average combinations to figure out what works best for you. Some of the most commonly used ones, Adair likes the 9, I like the 10. I'm willing to bet you on the 1 minute chart, they're probably very much near the same area.
Half the time we'll be like, oh, I like that level, and it's like the
it's exact same
or it's
area.
like a penny away.
Right? Some people use the 8, which I hadn't heard of, but yeah. So in conclusion, guys, moving averages are valuable tools for identifying trends, but understanding how to use them is incumbent here, and you should be combining them with other techniques to make more informed trading decisions and better trades. Adair.
We love better trades here and how to trade, though. Apparently, I do not. No, I'm joking, guys.
That's not true.
I appreciate that. But I just want to be honest. Like, we're all about honesty here, right? We're all about honesty. We're all about confidence. I got it down, and am I proud of that? Not at all. That is gross. I feel like I am trading in a way that is kind of yucky, but also I'm conflicted. Because like I said, like, this is not a good streak. This week has been gross. But I want to talk about the Snowflake trade because I know what my issue was. My issue was, girl, why are you not taking profit? Look at this. Look at this. So I got long 118, stand by that. Fully stand by that. Stand by the theory of adding when we got above that 30s area because I knew that 118.30s was resistance. The first time we went into it, couldn't get it. Held 118. We pop higher. I get it. To be clear, up to this point, there are no issues. Up to this point, things are making sense. Okay? And then things get dicey. So we get to 1 at 1840s. I'm like, dope. Okay, Snowflake, you're like moving. You're kind of doing things. So there's a Jay Lee in the chat who was saying, yeah, it's been weird. I fully agree. And we were like, I think 118.14 was my average at this point. So I was like, we can still bridge this to 118, right? Like, that's fine. So, but as I noticed we were having issues with 118.40, it's like, why wouldn't you just get out everything here? Like, whatever. I know you averaged in, but take, what is that? Like 25 cents, get out, right? The book is weird. It is Snowflake. It's been flaking weirdly. Get out. No. So then, this is when kind of the decision gets made for me. You have that sloop down in the futures on the SPY and the Q. And I was like, okay, if we can see 559.70s, because you guys know I like that 70 level on the futures, if 559.70 holds on the SPY, you're good. It was not really holding. That is where I should have gotten out, because at this point, we would have been about break even. I didn't, got out when we broke below 118s. To be clear, like, by a hair, but shut down to shut down. I am not proud of myself. That, you know, Drake's song, I'm so proud of you. No, I did not make me proud today. That is the issue. And I was trading tired. Like, you know, that's also definitely not a vibe. So time to reflect, time to journal aggressively. And like that's what, you know what I really like, we don't want to be negative here, but we always want to be honest. And I think I always like to frame my honesty with like, how can you improve? I know I can improve. Snowflake's book was weird, so I knew that going into it. The second I saw any kind of herky-jerkiness, should have gotten out, because that's what got tip-top the first time, right? So I'm going to stop ranting here. We're going to switch over, don't worry, to the sim, because I want to be able to take some more trades if I can, if I am awake enough to do so. But in the meantime, I would love to look at this for Zion Lala. Thoughts on Kava and Piton earnings? Yeah, okay, so Piton we already got. Piton, Sharif and I basically kind of said something to this effect here, off camera and also on camera. Sure, they beat this time, but that is not, like, Peloton's got other issues, okay? They're still cycling to the downside here. They're cycling down that hill. Instead of running up that hill by Kate Bush, it's cycling down that hill for Peloton. They have a new CEO or CFO here. The CFO left. They're going to get a new one. Wait, sorry, now I'm getting companies confused. That's not Peloton, I don't think. But they do need a new CEO. The new CEO is still on wait here, guys, because they Barry left in early May. Since then, 2 board members have been running Peloton. That is true. They do not have a CEO. It is impressive, though. This is actually the first quarter of sales growth for them in 9 quarters, and their CEO left. So I don't know what that says about Barry. Probably not anything good. But so here's the thing with Piton. I think you have to contextualize it with they're still doing pretty roof. Their guidance was also very roof. They guided below expectations for Q1. 2025 and fiscal 2025 because they just finished Q4 2024. They also were like, yeah, we expect some macroeconomic headwinds. So I guess that means people not buying expensive Pelotons. But let's see the daily chart, see what we can see here, guys. Stay awake, Adira, you got this. Stay awake charts. Okay.
Move up by Peloton.
Hey, but also pushback because that 290 gets a pushback. 290 once, twice, thrice. Do we flat bottom break? Good, but we don't. Heading into earnings, we have all this bizarre tip top, hold. gold,
Wow,
gold,
huge,
gold.
bro.
And we fly. And you know where we would have found resistance? 440. Peloton's like, what does that mean? Pushing higher above that level. Congrats to you, Piton. Next level of resistance, going to be 480. Let's talk about Kava too, because that was also something Zion Lala looked at. Yeah, guys, like I said, unfortunately, today was not the vibe for my trading. So if anyone has any stocks they want me to look at, I would love to look at them for you. Seriously, just let me know. We are heading back down here, so I'm going to stop yapping about stocks soon. But this Kava, million in volume on the day, so that's not a bad look here for CAVA. I find this, I've always found Kava to not be super directional on an intraday basis. I find usually whenever I look at Chops Insurance, but right now, we're going to find out what those earnings are. We had CMG and Kava. Sometimes people see Kava as the new CMG. How are you doing here, Sherry?
I took the longest head of taking the short, and that was a mistake on Apple. I was convoluted at which one to take. I saw this level over here at 226. I'm like, okay, so this could be an interesting arrow putting in higher lows. We come back in to test a key level of previous support, 226, took the long, got stopped out for 10 penny loss, but that's not what's upsetting me. The upsetting me part is like the 50 penny winner that just manifested in a matter of like 30 seconds there. So a little disappointed with myself, obviously, but I'm looking for a possible higher low. So if you're basically looking at 225 as the low of the day, if you're looking at 19,664 as the low on the future, 19.7 hold up here on the future, or 225.5 hold up on Apple could be interesting. So I'm not going to start looking and putting out orders there to take those levels like resting orders, but on the lookout for a possible hold up. On the lookout. But it's been the short kind of day today on the Mag 7 world. I mean, that's just that. You don't need to be a chartered market technician to see that. So lots of weakness, all sorts of weakness today on the future. I'm disappointed in myself with this trade here. Quite disappointed, actually, because of my bias initially was short. So I questioned myself there, and that's not the move. So keeping an eye on these now. Let's go back to Faraday and see what's afoot on Faraday. And I just can't believe.
What's a car on Faraday?
Oh, this thing has just been holding up, Adara. I've been all eyes and ears for that $7 break, and it's just not giving you that $7 break. Let me go over here for it. Where is my Faraday chart? I'll find it in a second. Did I flip? I think I took Faraday off and put Microsoft. Wow, look at the weakness. Yeah, this $7 area here on Faraday has just been absolute gold. Any buy off that level has, done quite well since you've cleared it at around 1145 or so. It is putting in higher lows now, but we're in no man's land here because we have 780 resistance and we're putting in higher lows. So I'm definitely not interested in taking a breakout right now while we're that close to 780. Let's see if this can break above 780 or do something here on Faraday. So keeping an eye on that. It's obviously one of the best names to trade on the day, no questions asked, because it's just been so parabolic in its moves. Piton as well, man. I did not put any respect on Piton's name, but Piton has been as directional as a small cap gapper can be. And yeah, it's almost small cap gapper status now. What is Piton at market cap these days? Oh my God. 1.66 billion.
Are you serious?
Yeah, Adara.
That is legally a small cap, Sharif.
1.66 billion, guys. I own this stock, Adara, from $119 to $138. It's trading at $451.
That's called being pleased as punch. You're not in it now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got rid of that in what year was that? It was actually 2020. Yeah. It was actually December 2020. Yeah. Wow. That's time ago. Anyway, Faraday in play, Piton in play in terms of small cap gappers. ARI, A-I-R-I. Look, it hasn't had direction since that pop at 1030, but it has respected VWAP. So there's a trade I have for these called the VWAP hold high of daybreak. And then when they have this directional move earlier on, and then they waffle, but they hold VWAP for the afternoon, then in the more liquid time of day, like when the big kahunas come on 233, that power hour, we get that high of day breach or just touch. So, usually with these type of trades, you build your position in and around VWAP. So that's a look for AIRI. If I was to trade it, that would be the look. Zoom is obviously very directional. It's not as directional as it was earlier on. It's still giving you opportunities. It seems as if defending that 20 exponential. But this is another thing about, no, I want to show this for a sec. Sorry, Ram. This is another thing about these moving averages. See the distance between them over here? So the fanning, this is what Michael Noss, what's he call this again? the things with the clouds, the moving average clouds. So the distance between the moving average should give you an idea of strength. So when the 20 and the 10 were this far apart from one another, well, look what the price action was doing. Now the distance between the 10 and 20 starts tightening up, and look what the price action is doing. So the reason he uses these clouds or whatever they're called, and he shades in the distance, is because when you shade in the distance, you can kind of see the distance between the two moving averages a bit better, and gives you an idea about the momentum of the stock. And then when it tightens up like this, well, obviously the momentum is drying up. So that was pretty cool, since we're talking about moving averages, to mention that anyway. But in any event, it seems to have some support off the 20 exponential. Let's move back to FIFI and see what the look is there. So again, rejecting $7.80. Well, I want to see if it does put in higher lows. Let's draw that trend line to where we think it's gauging, and it looks like it might be holding up at these points. So maybe 7.5 here is an interesting area to weasel in a possible long for a 788 break. I'm going to pack my patience and keep an eye on FIFI because we've been trading this one all day. It behooves me to stay on it.
Yeah, so I'm just getting like I said, I'm in the sim now because shut down live. Shut down, not happy with that. Like I said, I just need to customize my book because I have my pretty little pink book on the live, that like my sunset colored book that I don't have on the sim. Just so you guys know, I still will be taking trades if anything sets up. So that will be happening. They will just not be live trades. And yeah, I am, like I said, not a vibe. Not happy with it, but willing to use it as a learning opportunity. And honestly wondering, maybe I'll go back to the sim for a bit just because this week has not been a vibe. Trying to take some trades, get that confidence, that confidence back, and then come back live here because I want to make sure I'm making responsible decisions. Is definitely the vibe, especially if the tired trading is becoming a vibe. Let's see what this auction is though, because we are waiting on that re-auction from the 30-year tips. So let's see if we can give you that tip on the tips. I've been waiting here for that one for sure. No? Okay, tips. Let us know tips. But yeah, no, it's just my setup is not very pretty on the issue too. Because the stream flow, like when I first set up my live, she was like, "Oh, your setup is like way nicer." I was like, "Right," because it's like way easier to read. It's cleaner. It's less. It's very organized. Yeah. My side charts are so organized. But yeah, this is a little bit of a more disorganized. That being said, as I wait for the auction to set up, I turned on this and I looked at this Amazon 177.60 and I said, oh boy. Now I am not the Amazon trader that you will be seeing in this desk this time tomorrow. But I can still see support resistance when it hits, okay? Oh, yeah. Look at all these little wicks here to 40s. Look at that hold at 60s. And then you get at what, like 78s? Like that's a 40, that's a 2-to-1 risk to reward. I can live with that. And you know what? We are actually going to set. Oh, I forgot all my keys are different on this too. Okay, we're gonna have to. This is gonna be weird to have some setup time, but we're gonna get involved here on Amazon if we get filled, and we're gonna still wait for the 30-year. We got the 30-year. Okay, so not much of a reauction here, but 5.24% versus 5.26% previous, basically flat. Not much of a change there. But yeah. Congrats to everybody over here on these markets. Hope you guys are having a great day. Sorry, my brain is off. What are people looking at? I want to look at some things for people. And also, if you're like, hey, I don't care what Adara has to say about my stock. What does Sean and Neil have to say about my stock? Then that's very understandable. They're the big kahunas for a reason. Oh, yeah. So if you want to know what they have to say, get in that here chat, guys. Exclamation point join. Space. $, that ticker. Let us know. Let them know so they can let you know what they think about your ticker. So right now, I don't know if that's the re-auction. We got a little bit of the downside in some of these names. What is going on with this market? Says Bob S. Fair question. We don't have any news really, but like we know, we do have Jackson Hole. So we're gonna have to find out what's going on there. I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson. We are for real. Didn't mean to make the markets cry. It will not apologize a trillion times. But shout out to JKL for the $9.99 super chat. Thank you guys so much for the super chat today.
Nuts.
My question is, how do you recognize some of these micro and small cap moves before they happen? I'm looking at a company, ANY. The volume has been picking up, including the price over the past days. So one thing is, has it run in the past? I know that ticker. ANY has moved before. I recognize that ticker for sure. The name of that. So I think that's the thing. The thing is though, really, these you cannot really predict. If there's a decent short float, that can help. But the biggest thing is, do they have news? Usually they'll announce news the day of, and that's what moves the small cap ticker. We can look at the chart for any for you though. Anytime we'd be obliged to look. ANY, okay, volume on this, not great. 200,000 shares in volume. I want to look at the daily chart because I think that might give you a better chance here. I'm just gonna babysit my Zon while that happens. Okay, I don't mind this look on any at all. I have to customize these charts so much. So clear support we've held for a few times now here at that 80 cent level, right? On ANY. Look at that support at 80 cents. Now we've had that support here stronger. Now we're pushing above here into this $1 level, but the $1 break didn't come with a lot of volume. This is not an outsized volume day for any. So I would definitely be aware of that. The biggest thing is though, do we have things coming on like news on the day? Generally news, especially if you have a short float and a run up, that was what moves the small cap. But I'm not the small cap trader like the man who's been killing Fifi over here. Ooh. So how's Fifi going?
We just took it out again. Another 20 penny winner here on Fifi, but I want to mention that I got stopped out of Apple again. I tried to take a 225.50 or 40, excuse me, pop. Because we were at 19.7 on the future, and we're back 19.7, so this trade is not invalid. All right, hammer candle right now on 19.7. I want to read what Dan the Man Emmons wrote because it's future related, obviously. Dan, NQ, yesterday's trade 50 points, today's trade plus 300. He was down 50 yesterday. Today he's up 300. Process works. PITP means pattern is the pattern. Really? Dan, that's a tautology. Interesting. Pattern is the pattern, Dan. Okay, PITP. You should patent that one before anybody takes it. But yeah, shout out to Dan the Man Emmons. That is, well, he's down 50 points yesterday, 300 points today. Do the math. Great trade. A shout out to Dan, the dang man Emmons, in the chat. He's always dropping his levels for the NQ, like in the way that Big Smile Burdette. Today he called himself Big Smile.
I've said Big Smile
he called himself Big Style on the gram. Yeah. I think he sent me some pictures.
I'm happy he's chill with me punning with his name. That's all I care, because I know you guys. I make some puns on names in the chat. It's always out of love. I always pun from a good place.
He's a good time Sally. So he's not going to get
good time Sally. It's good. Yeah. Bring Sally up. Bring good time Sally down.
Oh, shout out to Neil. Yeah, but that's obviously that's a Big Spile is all good with that. So we're gonna shout out the Big Spiled one.
The Big Smile.
Yeah. Sorry. Guys, I'm still very much, I took 20 pennies here on Fifi, but I'm very much interested in a 7 flat bottom break. We have been holding 7 essentially since we took it at exactly 11:44 today. 7 has had a buyer every single dang time, okay? But what has manifested since that 7 break at 11:45 is incrementally lower highs with that flat bottom. You know what that means.
Bottom break?
It's a flat bottom break. Oh, she threatened me. She's like, if you don't talk, I'm going to mute you next time. She doesn't like when I don't talk when I play that animation. But Ram, seriously though, there's a flat bottom break afoot here brewing. Something could happen here with Fifi, 101%, obviously with no catalyst, but I'm very interested on this level. Now, yeah, I'm anticipating some bamboozlement. Obviously, you don't get that clean of a move through a level that's been tested that many times. I'd ideally like it, but we'll see what we get, and we will not get upset. There's a whole lot of chopping and churning. I'm seeing hammer candles now come in on the future. Katina, man, what's your look right now, man? Are you long or are you short? The Katina man is long Mora and Meta, and I gotta agree because I'm seeing bottoming tail candles come in through that 19.7 breach. So this could end up setting up as a double bottom. Now it doesn't have to be that way, okay? Now what I'm looking at, what I'm saying bottoming tail candles is that these candles have long lower wicks and very small upper bodies because they're being bought up, right, by buyers at that level. So that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing possibly bullish twist coming in here on the future. I don't know how Dan sees this or any other futures traders in the chat, but we're above 19.7 with a couple of bottoming tail candles now on the 5. So this is very interesting. I'd like to get back into the dead one here. It stopped me out. I'm getting back in, man. That's that. So we're going to get back into the dead one, and we're going to put our stop at the exact same area. Yeah, and I'm already out of the money on this. It's so frustrating, but that's the way it is. So we're going to put that in there, and there it is. So we'll get cut up on this. But I'll go down with the ship. Anyway, let's leave Apple. Let's let that do its thing. Here we go again with Fifi, right at $7 again, Ram. Okay, so let's see if this one breaks this time. Well, here we go. Big size. Okay, so there's not too much size here at 7. Here we go, and there it is. Finally, the break of 7. Now, what's the move? Do we bounce back up, or what's the move here? Let's see. Let's watch. Okay, so I'm thinking, I'm a little biased. I think we pop up and then we move back down. Once we breach 7, we'll see if it's a fake out breakdown. right? We're going to have to watch and see how this manifests. Below 7 again we go. Okay, so there's definitely people shorting in into this level. Now, look for the lower highs here on the book. Keep your eye on the ask. Look for the lower highs on the book. All right, here we go. Keep your I didn't hear it. I didn't hear it, Adara. I mean, like, what do you want? I'm trying to concentrate on this thing.
No, I'm sorry.
I know. I know you're good like that. So I'm watching here as 7. We're zigging and zagging right back into 7 again. But every time we move back into 7 now, we're being pushed down. So let's see exactly what we get here. I'm going to send it to you while I look at this one.
Yeah, so guys, we are a cool 8 pennies in my sim trade on Amazon, and we're going to celebrate that. Because small victories, also, I'm already getting my sim set up in a way I like, so I might just honestly, like, switch back to the sim for a bit, as I kind of alluded to, because this week was roof, and I'm trying to work on my processes. And if I'm trying to work on my processes, that's, like, valid. I don't think that's a bad thing.
No.
I know I trade on this show, but I also take it really seriously. And so I know it's more fun when I'm live, but I also think it's, like, probably more fun for everyone if I'm live and, like, not losing money. So, you know what I mean? So we're going to take some profit here at 90s. If we get to 90s, Amazon. Oh, boy.
Oh, boy.
Cool. Also, guys, let me know if you prefer the font on this or my live, because I think I might switch the font to this. I think my gradient's nicer on my live, but I do like the font on this. What? Hoping Mullen gets love, says UL Reina. I just looked up and read that, and I was like, yeah, I'll give Mullen some love, UL Reina. Like I said, oh, this is beautiful. So Faraday is over there, and Mullen's like, guys, well, you're looking at Fifi. You could be Mullen over me. And the way I'm bouncing off that 27-cent level. Look at this. Wick, 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 wick. Are the candles red? Yeah. But does this look bullish? Sort of. Great look. I said sort of. It's still Mullen, so I don't know. But good look here, and some increasing volume with that pop-up. Yoel Reina, I love the volume with that pop-up. And if you love the volume with that pop-up in any stock, guys, get in that chat. Go exclamation point join.
Get down.
$, ticker, whatever tickers are fancy. Maybe it's Amazon. Maybe it's Meta. Maybe it's like, I don't know, whatever ticker you like, guys. Just let us know in the chat. We want to know what ticker you're looking at. We don't want to just look at those Mag 7. We look at those all the time. Maybe you want to look at SPCE. Maybe you want to look at Fafi. And one of my favorite things about and Sharif and I were saying this off camera, we all trade slightly different stocks. Like, I give you guys, if you like really spready names, I love looking at those, and I can usually give a read of those for people. You like the small caps, and that's, you know, what's great too. We also have traders with more experience and some with, you know, I'm very new, so we have a little bit of something for everyone. Also, Amazon, I'm 40 pennies in the money. Why can't I trade like this in the live? I don't know, but maybe I'm seriously considering this.
I think you've traded like this in the live. You need to be
you need to be nicer to myself. I appreciate that. But yeah, I will add here if we bounce off the 90 MA, because that 80 break took forever. So if we come back to 80s, I'm actually going to get keep forgetting where my keys are. I'm going to get my deep beatwater set up here. If we get to 82s, I will be adding to this position. I'm really proud of this. And I'm still trading this seriously, okay? And then Amazon, if we break below 80s, I'll get out. I'll take 20 pennies. But I think Amazon can push higher. And why I like that 60s area, look at this. We get to 60s, push up higher. We get to 60s, we push higher. So there we go. This is a 10-to-1 risk to, or no, not a 10-to-1, that would be wild. I wish. It was a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. But honestly, I really didn't even risk more than 10 cents because it didn't wick any lower than that from whence I got in. Let's see what happens here in AMZN. We're going to do that lesson in a little bit here, as it is 112, where the players happen to dwell. And we're NVIDIA dwelled for like several days straight, actually, too, if you remember that. But let's see what's going on here in this AMZ. I'm going to let this trade ride because I feel pretty comfy with this. I know I'll let trades ride in the live as well if things look nice. But this is also, I am not Patrick, but shout out to Patrick there.
Adios.
I just noticed that he was there.
How did Patrick end up on there? I think he's been on the show like once.
But I think it was because they were trying, I think twice. I think they were trying to like switch it because I'm in the sim, right, to show my position. So it makes sense that that's how that happened. But I do want to, thank you very much to Fabian and Ramin for everything they do. Thank you to everyone in the market for everything you do. Elon saying, did you long snow again? Unfortunately, did get shut down in a snow long. Like I said, talked about how that went down, but guys, we're always really honest here, right? That's what's the best, that's honest. You can have bad weeks.
Oh, yeah.
And you could have bad days, you could have great days. We're going to tell you about it. We're going to celebrate with you all. And that's what's great about this community. We all trade together. We all feel the feels of trading. And it's a great time there. So, y'all ready, says Christian?
Oh,
I don't know if we're all ready, but I'm ready to see what we do here as we get to Amazon 177 60s. How are you doing over here?
I did well, Adara. I did well over here. So I took 15 pennies quickly on Fifi. I'm out of the money by, I think, Oh, here we go. So I'm stopped out of now, Fifi, as it did break 7, but this is a perfect opportunity to possibly get back in. I want to talk about my Apple trade in a second because that was the banger. But here we go with Fifi again. I'm watching. Here's a second test of 7. So I'm going to pack my patience here with this one. I want to see exactly what it does. It's still above the volume-weighted moving average. So don't forget that, right? Like there's still buyers that can pack into this, $7 or not, right? That's the situation. That's why I always yap about VWAP, and let me just call a spade a spade. I haven't followed my rules today with VWAP trade, but it's been okay here with Fifi. Anyway, it looks like it's going to take 7 now, so I'm going to have to pack my patience with this one. We'll see exactly what it does. It's being met with a wall of sellers, though. Look at it holding up at 5 over here, and every incremental penny it moves up, it's being met with a wall of sellers. And here we go again, below 7. So all sorts of weakness here on Faraday's future, down now, well off the highs, 865 HOD. We're at 691 now. So do we defend 7 or what the situation is? All right, I tried to get short there. It didn't fill me. Oh, come on, dog.
Come on, punk.
Come on, dog. Oh, Katina, man, it wouldn't let me in, bro. But that's the way it is there. So we'll pack our patience with this one. This is the trade I was really proud of. I took 40 pennies, quick as you like on the dead one right there. We got long 225.40, wet my beak at 55s, took out the remaining ones at 77s. I'm happy with this trade. This was an obvious area, possible double bottom, but look what it did right after that. It absolutely tanked. It dropped from 80 down into 11s, quick as you like. The dead one doesn't usually move like this, but the dead one has started moving. What are you gasping about?
Just looking at there's a range in IWM.
Well, that's not a bad look at all. You should probably talk about that because that is a hell of a look. I was talking to Yanni back there. He took an IWM
I know he trades
trade
the Rust
today.
sometimes.
Yeah, he did. He was telling me about IWM as well.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, I know. I figured you'd probably want to know about. Say that again, Katina Man. The Katina Man is long Google at this level at 164.75. 83. Ah, that's close. Yeah. The double bottom though, and I see why you got into that. That's a gnarly double bottom. Look at that 164.75 defend, and now we're working our way up into 165. Shout out to the Katina Man. You're seeing that pattern on a couple of them. You're seeing it on Tesla. You're seeing it here on Apple. You're seeing it on a lot of them. Whether or not the left side of the W is basically at the same level as the right side depends on the name. Like you're seeing it on NVIDIA. You've got it skewed. The right side is a little bit higher. On Microsoft, the right side is a little bit lower. So it really is the same pattern on a lot of these names. Mag 7 names is what I'm talking about, but some of them a bit more bearish, some more bullish than others. Adara. 115. You want to do the lesson?
I got the lesson already set up to go. And
Beauty.
also, great transition here. I see Diego Estrada in the chat saying, I just want to thank the professor for today's lecture about MA. Got me into 2 positive trades. Thank you very much for telling us that, Diego Estrada. Thank you so much to Sheree for everything you do for preparing those lessons.
Thank you.
He is the professor there. And we're at Panera and we're doing professing.
Hey.
And theme nicknames, great. So let's talk about understanding trends through the moving average. So what is a trend, you may ask? It's not just a cool thing that someone does on TikTok. It's not a hip dance. Well, it can be. But a trend is also a sustained movement of prices in a particular direction. So identifying trends is huge for successful trading because it does help to determine the overall face of the market, overall market sentiment, and give you some potential profit opportunities. So how do you use MA to identify trends? So moving averages are huge to help you identify trends. There's a couple different ways to use them. One is through crossovers. So you've got, for example, a shorter period MA crossing above a longer period MA. That can signal a bullish trend reversal. But in the flip, when you've got a shorter period MA crossing below a longer period MA, that can signal a bearish trend reversal. So the slope is also huge because the slope of the moving average can indicate the strength of a trend. A steeply sloping MA can suggest a strong trend, while a flat moving average can suggest a weaker trend or no trend. We talk about some of these indicators like the MACD, for example, moving average convergent divergence. These are going to be a lot more helpful in trending markets. If it's not trending, it doesn't really know what to do, and you're not going to get as clear of a signal. Also, I see you, Maymet, in the chat asking about suggestions for the SPY. I have lots of thoughts on the SPY, so we'll get into those in a minute. But let's also talk about price action with regards to moving averages. Moving averages can be used to converse from firm price action. So for example, if the price is consistently above the rising moving average, that supports a bullish trend. If you see a violent move above the moving average, that can be like, hey, we're flipping bullish. The reversion man's in town. We want to go higher. The reversion man, by the way, is Powell. Shout out to Obi for that. But also, Howell, it's not time yet. We're not supposed to talk to you till 10. Like, can you not do this, Powell, right now? Like, seriously, we're doing a lesson, okay? He doesn't care about learning. Not you too, Kathy, okay? Like, I know you're probably really freaked out because Tesla broke below 220, but you've got more time, okay? The day is still ongoing, Kathy. We can talk about this later, but also I think Tesla's going to break, so sorry. Okay, that was fun. Thank you, Sean. But also, thank you to price action, right? And using moving averages to find this price action. So if you've got, look, sometimes the way it moves above, as I was saying too, right before I was rudely interrupted by those phone calls. When you have the move down decisively below the moving average, that could be like a huge sign to the downside or the move above. Though Sharif always says they're not always going to matter every day. It really does depend on the day. So how can you use, so here's some examples. So you got them, for example, the 50 here crossing above the 200. We get that move up here, then we move below and we move down. So it's not always going to matter in the same way, but sometimes it can, and there can be a great moment. You have this beautiful crossover here and then a beautiful uptrend. So that's one example. Here's one example here of a slope, using moving average slope on GDC. Thank you to Sharif for putting GDC on there. And GDC was also very apt. This is from yesterday. And also, I am not joking. This name ran up because the company made a TikTok account. So I guess shouting out to Trends. Also, shout out to Pran. Thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. Funny bit with the calls that made me LOL. You know, Pran, yeah, when Kathy and Mr. J Power are going to call me in the same minute, I gotta let them know what's up. So shout out to you guys for making this show so fun. Yeah. And it's a great opportunity there. But also, great opportunity would have been the slope here on GDC. We have that slope up with the moving averages. Then when it slopes down, we get that price moving down there. So great look there. Price action confirmation. I talked about sometimes how when we have these initial moves above or below the EMAs or the moving average, that can be huge, right? So look at this pop up, right? We're resting, then we violently break below the moving average. And then we have a big deviation below the moving average, which means, hey, the more room you have in the moving average, the more that you and the moving average are, to quote someone behind us, distinctly different. They're moving, there's certainly a move down here. Then we have this sharp directional change. We poke our little head above the moving average, come back down, but we're still closer than we were earlier, right? Now look at this beautiful bounce and this pop up. The MA worked in this case. Now, they're not always going to work, right?
No.
Sharif always says you have to be very careful. Look for confluence. Make sure you have confidence in the move.
Bang.
Look at confirmation for multiple indicators. But if you see sometimes the moving average can be huge, and sometimes it'll just give you moves. Like I remember there was one Meta when it had that beautiful move up on, like when it broke 400 on earnings day 1 back in February. I don't know why I remember. This is where the memory gets weird. I remember I was taking shorts off the moving average because I noticed every time Meta would get to the MA, it would reject, right? So you can use these patterns to find opportunities. But let's also talk about some common MA combos. So 50-day and the 200 MA day MA, these are, as far as I'm aware, the most common here. This is the most often used as well to identify longer-term trends. So when you have the 50-day MA crossing above the 200-day MA, that's often considered a stronger bullish signal, which can suggest a potential uptrend. However, the combination is particularly useful for identifying major trend changes in the market. If you want a bit more of a short-term, fun little, moving average combo, you got the 20 and the 50. This combination is often used to identify shorter-term trends. When the 20-day EMA crosses above the 50-day EMA, that can indicate a bullish trend, okay? And conversely, when the 20-day EMA crosses below the 50-day EMA, that can signal a bearish trend reversal. You got the bears creeping up in the background, right? Big Spal Burdett and his crew, and they're going to go to the downside. Shout out to Rob Newland. Sorry, guys, I keep interrupting because we have these super chats. Thank you guys so much, this community. Rob Newland, that is a 10-pound super chat. I love how I spend every day hanging out with you guys, and you don't even know me. Haha. I love spending the day here. So do I, Rob. He said, I'm down in snow, but I'm not giving up yet. I got to shout you out. Snowflake was... I talked a lot about Snowflake. I'm going to tweet about Snowflake. That was such a bamboo-ling stock. I got shut down in Snowflake. I'm going to be really real with you there, like I said, right? So, Rob, definitely, if stuff keeps hitting, if you still believe in those trades, you just got to stick with them if they make sense, right? As long as you're following your risk to reward,
absolutely,
you got to follow that. So I really want to shout out Rob Newland for the super chat because perseverance is something I am really always talking about here in the show. Whether you're down or you're up, you always have to be up on the mental. And so shout out to you. Thank you very much for that super chat. Here's one. Sorry, get back to the lesson here, guys. Here's one example of a golden cross. Oh, so we have our 50-day MA, right? We got our 20-day MA. Then look when they cross up. Look what starts to happen with the price when they cross. It goes up. Great look there. Here's a death cross, RIP. And I like that it's an all red as well. Shout out to Sharif again for making these lessons. We have, look at the moving averages, right? We've got the shorter crossing above the longer. RIP. Not a great look. But let's also talk about some tips here for using the moving average, okay? So consider market conditions because the MAs might not be as effective in choppy markets or during periods of high volatility, or volatility as we've had the last few days here. You also want to make sure you're combining these MAs with other indicators because using MAs in conjunction with other technical indicators can give you a more robust signal. Also, you might want as well to adjust moving average periods. So experiment with different combinations to find ones that best suit your style and your trading system. So definitely keep an eye out there. Good look there. Sorry guys, I know we love talking fast here, but these markets are moved very quickly. And I believe everyone else can attest. I talk this fast all the time. I'm just so energized by these here markets and what they do. Amazon continuing to hold this 177.60 beautifully. Amazon, Jeff Bezos, do you want to give me a delivery here of some profit or some sim profit? Because if you do, I'll hop on that train. Beep, beep.
Let me send it to you on his, what is it called? Not Blue Ocean. That's the trading thing. What's it called?
His yacht?
No, the space company that's competing with SpaceX. Blue Horizon, right? Yeah.
That's a weird name for a space company. Also, guys, don't forget to vote. I just remembered.
Yeah.
Exclamation point, join, space, $, ticker.
All right, guys. Do you know that we work on a prop firm, right? Well, that prop firm now has something called the Real Trading Campus Program. So attention, Canadian traders, the Real Trading Campus Program is back. Are you ready to elevate your game? Our exclusive program is designed to transform you into a real trader. Dive deep into the market microstructure, explore diverse marketplaces, and master professional execution techniques. We'll focus on U.S. equities, starting with a carefully curated stock list to optimize your learning. As you progress, you'll gain access to an expanded range of symbols. From order types to venue exploration, we've got you covered. This isn't about chasing high flyers. It's about building a solid foundation for long-term success. Don't miss out on this opportunity to join our upcoming cohort and take your trading to the next level. Yeah, it's a big boy word there, Katina, man. For a big boy prop firm, shout out to Real Trading, the best the best dang prop firm around these parts. Let me tell you, it cost me a whole dollar. I'm broke for the 1,000 shares that the Katina man was able to get me for Fifi, and by the amount of purple triangles you see on this chart, every single one of those purple triangles is short. So thank you very much to Real Trading, doing the absolute most in a fantastic way right now. I'm looking at the futures right now, and we are very much near lows. Look, we're trying to defend 19.7, but the defense seems anemic. Yes, I'm seeing double bottoms. Possible double bottoms, but that doesn't mean they have to hold up. We can create new lows. And so this is my concern right now. Look at the future. It can't even clear the 10 on the 5. Sure, it had a nice little move up there, the breach of 17 or 19.8, but it was quite short-lived. So Dan the Man Emmons was absolutely right. He was holding on to his 300-point winner for a reason. And so look, I think we, unless we can move up here, clear, get above some moving averages, show that we're going to put in a higher low, man, I think we continue to whiffle and waffle, maybe even print a little bit lower. 1% down now on the NQ. Tough day for the longs today, no question about it. Let's have a look now at Fifi because it is continuing to hold up above the volume-weighted moving average. VWAP. Volume-weighted moving average price. Katina, man, I'm losing it. Volume-weighted average price. I'll get it. I'm getting old, bro. That's the thing, Can't help that. That father time goes in one direction. 654.
That's deep.
I know, right? 653, 654. That's where the I'm just joking. VWAP is at that level. I'm joking, Ram. Is at that level. So if we break VWAP, I think we're gonna see a whole flood of shorts. Right now, we're still above that level. $7 was the level that we wanted to short off. And we're working our way back into 7 here. We'll see if it can reclaim it. If we can't, well, I'm shorting again at 7 on Faraday Future because it's been interesting today, certainly, on FFIE. Look, I think one of the better trades that I don't know if anybody on this desk took. Did you guys trade Peloton today? Did
Neil did all day.
Neil was in it all day. And look, it's quite directional. You don't have the biggest dollar move. The closing print yesterday was 335. We got up to 464. But that's a big move. That's 36% for a $4 name. And it's been very, very directional. At the worst, it's come into the 20 exponential on the 5. But most of the time, you see all these candles bouncing off the green line. Those are all holdups at the 10 exponential. So good look so far. for some of these small cap gappers. It's really about the longs right now in the Mag 7 that are in trouble. Let's have a look at Apple, because it's right back at that area that we wet our beak last time at 225.80, right back at that level. I didn't take out that level because it looked like a gnarly area of resistance. It was just it was basically based on where I gotten in. I wanted to take about 40 pennies. And now we're right back at that area again, which is a 20 exponential on the 5. So Apple catching a bit of a bid. But if the future doesn't move up, I don't care what Apple does zigging and zagging here. If the future is going to continue to stay at or near that 19.7, I don't think we move up on Apple. In fact, I'm looking over at some other Mag 7 names, and the soft one is putting in another lower low, 416.38, just printed a new low right now on Microsoft, down 1 3/4 on the day. It is the most beat up, second most beat up Mag 7 name after TSLA, which is down 3 1/3. Shout out to Big Style Burdette. I was just messaging him there on the gram. He's still holding his Tesla short. I think he's like $10 or $15 in the money. I
think they just made a new low a day. So
yeah, it did, right? Look at this. Tesla, he messaged me today at 10 a.m. Tesla doubled the put position on that up thrust at the open, get down at the open. So he added at 224 and change. We're printing 215.52. That's a big boy trade, big style, Burdette. So shout out to you. We hope you continue to print. What's your look at there?
Speaking of big spile in the SPY, guys, we've got something going on here, brewing in the SPY. Someone in the chat, I think it was Maybat in the chat, asking for SPY takes. You guys know I always have takes in the SPY. I have a lot of really specific levels in the SPY.
Jeez.
The SPY was my only green name stated. I had quite a few SPY trades. They all went pretty well. I think got chopped up and maybe one here. But SPY, look at that 560 level. This is not even what I'm going to talk about today, but wow. 560, then we could do. So I'm going to preface this with, you guys know, with a lot of my scalping, maybe you don't, with scalping, what I like to look for is I like A, whole dollar breaks, and B, are there any particular cent levels? Is it a 40? If we get to the 40 every dollar break, do we have issues? SPY today with the 30s, and you can see it here. I'll push back to show you. Look at that 558. Okay, we get to 558. We make that break here after a little bit of whiffling and waffling, and then we spend so much time breaking above 30s. Then once we were above 30s, when we had this 558, we had to clear 50s and then 70s. Once we hit 70s, we were off to the races. And I think that's most example. Oh, never mind. I'll stop rapping about the SPY because we just breaking a new low a day here. If we get that clean, okay, you know what? I'm gonna take the SPY short. Let's go here. I did. Oh, it got filled twice. Okay, not realized that. Let's go. Okay, I forgot I have I think immediate orders here. Let's see what happens here in the SPY. If we break above, we're gonna give this to 20s because I feel really good about this trade. We're gonna take out half here if we get to 50s, 556 50s. I like the 50 cent levels here on the SPY, but also I could arguably give to 30s because, like I said, that's gonna be my level on 30s. Basically, like I said here, with oh my gosh, SPY. We still got some in here, guys. I got short SPY, to be clear, 557. I still have half my position in, and we're at 556 40s. Let's see, like I said, 30s have been the level here on the SPY, at least on the way up. So if we struggle with 30s, look what we did. We struggle with 30s here. If we come back, if we can't hold 50s, I'll get out 50s. But man, if we reject at 50s here, Sharif, I want all the SPY. I want blood in the SPY. I want the thing to bleed, okay? We get to the 50s, guys. We get to the 50s in the ask. Now we're trying to slam back into the bid here, okay? I'm not going to say slap the ass because I'm in the long.
Come on.
Short, but if we slap the bid, please, this punch here. If we stay below 50s, I'm staying in this trade. This is honestly, when you see stuff you believe in, when you have the confidence, the confidence, you have to get, and I literally interrupted my SPY analysis because the SPY was coming in here, okay? The SPY gave you that push down. It is giving you that break. And if I take $1 in the SPY, I'm going to be so pleased here as punch. It's not about emotion. It's about seeing what you like. It's about when things come in, you got to get involved. A quarter in grande. I see it. I like it. I want it. I got it. It's not going to be 7 rings, but it will be $1 if we keep, now we're rejecting 556 30s, okay? Before we were bouncing off that. Now we're rejecting, okay, now we're bouncing off and I got to get out here. But I am pleased as punch with that trade. Oh boy. Oh boy, guys. That was, something, you got to have confidence. This was in the sim, but that trade didn't feel simulated. That felt real because I traded it like how I would have if it was live. So I apologize for interrupting that analysis, but I think this just goes to show that 30 cent level in the SPY, still real. Look, we still can't break it, guys.
Bro.
We break 556 30s, and as I say that, we're trying to break below. That'd be dope, but wow, you got to stick to your playbook. If your playbook is whole dollar SPY shorts, Take those shorts, take them with size, and believe in them, and be confident, be confident. I love being here with this community. I saw someone else fist pumping while I was ranting. What are you doing?
Oh, Adara, man, holy paper-handed trades. I had 2 shorts into Apple. Both were profitable, and both were paper-handed trades. I almost got top wick. I shorted right at 67s, 225.67. We just got 224.63. $1 in less than a minute. Oh, come on. I did it so poorly. Right idea, poor execution. That's just what trading is. That's the name of the game, baby. I mean, I'm having a great time today. I'm having a fantastic time. Yeah, that's what this short was on Apple at these levels. Look at Big Spile, Tesla. Yes, Tesla's bleeding. I was just shouting you out, Big Spile. I was telling everyone you shorted on the pop into 224s, and now we just got a 214.46. My man is $10 in his money on the ad, not the original. On the ad. So shout out to Big Spile on that one. That's a hell of a trade. He's doing that through options, guys, in case you're wondering. He's buying up puts on the Cybertruck. And funny enough, Big Spile, a buddy of mine got into the Cybertruck today, which I found to be, quite comical because we always talk about being in and out of the Cybertruck when we're in Tesla trades. So yeah, he actually got into one today. So lots of blood. Goes without saying right now on the future. We're well off the highs. We could be 400 points by the end of the day off the highs because we're 20,025. Well, while Adair was dropping the lesson, I looked over the Katina, man. I'm like, something inside me said that, we wick up into 20,000 and then we sell off aggressively. And I was not expecting a 20,000 reclaim until later in the fall, possibly, right? Shows how much I know. We'll see what we get today. And yeah, we'll yap about it. All right, let's talk about Faraday as well because it's right back above. And this is why I kind of mentioned the VWAP rule because look what it did here, guys. I mean, it comes into VWAP and now it's like almost $1 off that volume weighted average price. Doesn't mean it has to stay that way. Oh, this is actually quite bullish here on Faraday. Okay, so it held VWAP and it retook 7. And 7's been an interesting area on Faraday. So Faraday might be an interesting long here. Let's see what the moving averages are doing. So they didn't quite cross. So the 10 and the 20 didn't quite cross. All right. Wow, the market's still bleeding. Let's go back into Faraday over here. Have a look. Now, what could be interesting is where are the resistance levels? So 7 1/3, it looks like there's possible resistance level right there around 730. What could be interesting is to come back into 7 and take a long off 7. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to set up an order at 705 to possibly front run it, but I'm looking for a defend of 7 over here. So number 1, we'll see if we get it. Number 2, we'll look for 730, right, as a possible area reject. Now, I'm not going to short there. I don't want to short it around there, but what I want to see if it's able to take it. All right, it might be coming into my level here. So let's see. Here coming into 10s. I want to see if it fills me at 05, and then I'm going to have to give this at least 10 pennies, if not more, because it could zig and zag through 7. So Faraday up 100%. It's held VWAP, so I'm a little bullish on it now, even though I was able to short it earlier. Let's see if we can get something to defend that $7 area. Here comes printing 08s. What am I seeing on the tape? Okay, so it's not quite coming down into my area. I'm going to pack my patience. I need to have a good price here. 09s, 8s, 7s. All right, let's see if we get 5s. Very close. I know, right back up into 13. So it looks like there is buying front running that 7 position. So maybe I'm S out of luck at this point, and I'll have to pack my patience. Let's see what else we get over here. Back into 10s. Okay, a 4-penny spread on a $7, 3 pennies now. Not bad. Look, I'm going to pack my patience with this one. I have to give it about 10 to 15 pennies, but I'd like for this, if I enter this trade, to hold it a little bit longer. Ideally, there is that consolidation area over here at around 7 1/4, 7 4/5. That could be an interesting area to take it out ahead of that area so you don't encounter resistance. Back into 8s we go again. Look at the tape. Nothing all right, here we got filled. Now we have to actually be ready. So now let's see if we we drop below that level, the $7 level. So let's put a possible beak wetter at around the top end of the range. And we're going to have to watch this here as a 7 break is going to get me out. Let's put our out already on this one. And there it is. Now we have the stop protected. Now we're just going to have to see if it defends 7 or not. That's the look. That's really what it comes down to here. So we clear 7 after encountering lots of support, resistance initially at 7. Then we used it a little bit as support. So we shall watch and see what we get over here. Faraday Future has been in play all day, Dara. All right, here we go. Right back up into the 20s. Woo. Come on, fill me. There it is, Adara. Nice. Up. Okay, perfect. Good trade. Let's see now if we can get a little bit more. And so we were talking about 7 and, 3/4. So let's go ahead. And now this is going to take a little bit longer, in my estimation, to make it up there. So now we're going to wait at 7 2/3 to front run that 3/4, 4/5 area. Here comes a $0.25. Let's see if we're able to clear the $0.25. 25 stacking up over here. 7 1/4. So we defended 7 well. I like that. Now we need a new high. A new high comes vis-a-vis 730. No, not yet. So we'll have to pack our patience here on Faraday Futures. But it's been a very interesting day trading this one. I got to tell you, I've had a lot of fun. It's been tough, being cut up on it at times, but that's just the way it is. That's the way trading is. What's your look?
And my look is, I flipped long here in the SPY, so I don't think my positions are showing because I'm in the sim right now. But basically, what happened was I basically had said, I love the whole dollar breaks in the SPY, right? But I also like the 70 level, and we rejected 556.70s hard a couple times. So I said, if we break below 556.50, and then we break into a 557.30, that's a short. That's a short. You could take that until it bleeds, right? Woo. But we didn't. I said, okay, so we broke 556.70. I unfortunately was not able to get that long. Then I said, Adara, wait to see how it clears 557s. We cleared 557s beautifully. I got long, loaded in, took out 40% at 557.20s to put out the rest for break even. If we bounce here off, if I see a higher low, like a bounce off 80s, this is still bullish to me. Look what we're doing. We're trying to bounce off 80s here. I'm really proud of that trade. It was so funny. Sean said in this chat there as I was doing, he's like, and this is just in the sim, just imagine, right? But yeah, no, in all seriousness, I'm really proud of this trade. I would have taken this trade live. I'm really happy I got to take it in the sim. And honestly, I will be aggressively trading about this trade. And because I really take my stuff seriously, I really want to be getting better every single day. This week was, and when you have weeks like that, you can feel about yourself and about your trading decisions. But you have to figure out, you have to find your bag. You have to find what you're good at. You have to find out what makes sense for you. If you know you're comfortable trading volatile stocks and doing things, make sure you stick with those opportunities. Yeah. Also make sure you vote because you only have 10 minutes left to do that. Exclamation point, join, space, $, ticker. Let us know what you are looking at. Basically, what I'm trying to say, though, is even with that big move down in the SPY is still respecting the 70-cent level and the 30-cent level, as well as the whole dollar. That's my take on that. That's my TED Talk. And I'm going to stop writing about the SPY now because I'm sure there are people like, why is this girl looking at the SPY book? I don't know. But it's really fun to go to the library sometimes with these stocks. Also, Zoom on watch here. Zoom. Look at Zoom. I said if Zoom can get below 67, it's a short. Zoom was like, hey, you want to bet? Look at this beautiful 67 bounce, not once, but twice. Gorgeous. 67 is also support from earlier. And then Zoom now currently breaking back above 68, high of day 68.02. I love the support resistance flippity flip here at 67.63s, right? Look at that high here. We wick above, we can't do it. Break below, bounce beautifully. Come back down, bounce. Bounce, lower highs. Does Zoom care? No, it's still connected to its call. It still has its 40 minutes for its free call. Because if you do free Zoom, you can only talk for 40 minutes and it cuts you off. Then it comes up here to 67.60 and it bounces beautifully. Zoom, you are gorgeous. Jokes. Let's visit our other earnings friend there. Showed it again to that super chat there. From what was I was make sure I get everybody's name right. I think it was Sam Newland. It was I know the last name there. But Snow still so rangy. And I was like, I got whatever. Stopped out on this. Looks like that was such a clear level. We never broke above that level. More aggressive journaling to be done on this name. That is for sure. If you have names that aren't moving clearly, like Jay Lee said in the chat earlier, like Zoom has been kind of messy. It was kind of messy. Why was it not getting out at resistance or support? I don't know, but that's the thing to learn about tomorrow. But I want to hear, you sounds like you got your target there.
I did. I defended 7 Adara, first B quitter 25, second B quitter at 35. I'm very happy with this trade. It's not exactly the levels that I targeted, but yeah, that's just my kind of trading. So happy with this trade. Now on Faraday Futures, we were able to exact some more revenge on this name, but now I'm in a different trade. And now we're going to have to watch target. Possible double bottom at 156.75. It is still below the 10 exponential on the 5. Let me show you what I'm seeing here on the 5-minute look. So sorry for the distortions. So this was the bottom that we put in the IB low. Shout out to Dan the Man Emmons at 9:45. That low took us to 156.59. So let's just say, you know, generally the closing prints were all around that 157 area. So I said to myself, Sharif, look, this is an interesting look double bottom. It's a big boy earnings winner from yesterday. Could there be buyers to support up this area at the IB low? Could, maybe. We'll find out. We're one whole penny in the money at the moment on this name. I'm looking to wet my beak at around the $0.25. The $0.25 would necessarily mean a breach of the 10 exponential. I'm trying to give this one enough room. It is a $150 some odd name, but I'm basing it on the technical areas over here. So it's a bit spready, obviously, but I'm trying to pack my patience with this name. Yeah, we'll see if this one can move up into the teens or something like that right now. Long on TGT, an earnings winner from yesterday, looking to possibly play a double bottom off that 156.75-ish area. Now we're moving up into the 20s. Let's see if we can move up a little bit more. Well, it's a spready one, so you're not going to get the fill unless it crosses. We're down 1 1/3 on target. We're in the money on this one, but nothing to write home about. I'd like a print at around the $0.25. Well, I'm going to pack my patience, but it looks like as if we are meeting some sellers here. Not surprised. Easy Trader, GovX, 9:20 break. Absolutely. You ask and I oblige. Let's bring in the side chart over here and have a look at GovX. This is obviously in play because of the whole monkeypox situation right now. But yeah, it's been kind of dead money on the day today. I don't want to say dead money, but it's been rangy. Okay, so the closing print 8:30 yesterday, the high 9:56. That is the after the bell high. Looks like we got a little bit higher there in the pre. We got about almost $10 there in the pre. Very much an inside day, Easy Trader. I got to tell you the truth. This is not what you want if you're trading GovX. You want direction, like what we had yesterday. So let me show you exactly what I mean by that. Like, look, the consistently higher highs, the higher lows, and then you get the big boy. What was that? Right at the, for whatever reason, we got big boy volume right at 345, which actually caused it to halt. This is the kind of direction we're looking for from GovX. A range day, to me, is better suited for different stocks, not these small cap gappers. That's just my opinion, right? You're obviously, you may be capable of trading it in a way that I'm not. So shout out to you if that's the case. Still waiting here on what's it called, TGT, not out of the money. I'm one penny in the money. I'm looking for a print at around the $0.25. But what I'm looking for, ultimately, is the hold of the double bottom. But there seems to be a seller at 20 every time we weasel up into 20, 157.20. We're printing 21s right now, but in and around that fifth of a dollar, we're being met with some selling over here. So I'm either going to have to get out here or pack my patience. And so I think I'm going to choose the latter as opposed to the former. So we're going to pack our patience with this one and let it go. What's Fifi doing? So it looks like we almost got top wick right now for the moment on Fifi. Right now, though, it is trying to defend that 7 1/5, 7 1/4, right into that 7 1/2. So we'll keep tabs on that. Let's see what Apple's doing, because we were trading Apple as well. Where is the dead one? Oh, let's take this one and put AAPL. Okay. So Apple is just printing lows. Apple's in trouble. Well, so is the entire market. I mean, the NASDAQ's down 1 1/3, so Apple's going to be bleeding as well. So we're literally printing 224 and 2/3. That is almost the low of the day. Here comes the low of the day on Apple. So it's a short the pop kind of situation right now. It feels like on any of these Mag 7 names. That's what it feels like at the moment. Coming back into lows, 224.50. That will be a new low of day on AAPL. We'll pack our patience. All right, back to Target. Still whiffling, still waffling at that fifth of a dollar, that 20 penny area, which also happens to be the 10 exponential on the 5. I'm not taking it out. I'm going to wait. What's your look?
Yeah, don't whiffle or waffle, because if you don't shoot the dart straight, you could poke someone's eye out. You got to wait for the target to hit.
Oh.
So it was a really long-winded target pun. I apologize. We have 3 minutes left though to vote. Exclamation point, join, space, $, not ticker. So let us know. I had an Amazon short earlier. I think I mentioned this. I wanted to short that 177.60. I got stopped out. I did not realize. Apparently, part of my position was chilling. I got part filled. So that was pretty dicey. He did fine. Obviously, he was just RIP my Amazon chart. We were chilling, but yeah, it's never great. Like, Sharif has talked about this. If you don't realize you're filled, or if you're in something, that's never a good feeling. Even if it was in the money, so I don't love that there. I did not realize I got part filled on that, so that's pretty day. Okay, SPY. I was watching this SPY book, and I want to show. I think it was M Sense in the chat saying, like a lot of people trade the SPY. Please trade it more. I trade the SPY. I think like most days a week, and I always am watching the book, and that's how we get these levels, right? So I was just watching the book here on the SPY. We were at 556.70, and like I said, 550, like 70-cent level. That's been my turning point today. That's where the SPY decides what it wants to do. If it breaks below 30s here, that's where you start to build a position for me. If we break below 30s, I risk it into 50s because I like the 30, 50, 70 is kind of, a different level. Okay, we're breaking in here. Let's see if we get filled here just below. Guys, my entry point here, 21, so a little bit higher than I would have liked it, lower than I would have liked it to be. You don't love chasing waterfalls here, but let's see as we do here if we break lower. If we break below 556 decisively, I'm adding. If we don't, I'm getting out here. Because like I said, my levels for SPY are always the only time I have SPY books as playbook trades are A, is it like a break below a whole dollar level, or B, is it a level I like? In this case, with whole dollar levels, it's always going to be like kind of a vibe, but I also did like those 30-cent levels, so that's certainly going to be something I want to do here. You can't trade P&L, even if you're in the sim, you always going to be trading progress and learning, because I did have those winners there earlier. I get a 70-cent winner on that first SPY trade, but if I still see things I like, I'm going to stay in here. We're really having a bulls and bears, like really clashing horns here, clashing paws at this 556. I want to see if we break above here. Can we hold it? No, okay, we're trying to hold here. Still below 556.10s. Let's see what happens here on the S&P 500. Is the S&P is the place to be. If you're down with S&P, yeah, you know me. Yes, I am. Okay, we cannot break below this 556. Wow. Okay, SPY is like, yeah, Dara, talk about your levels, whatever. We're gonna hold 556 for now. We're going to get out here break even. I want to wait and see. Why will it not fail me? Thanks, SPY. Okay, we're going to get out here break even. That's cool. I can live with that. I think the SPY could continue to be grinding higher here a little bit, so I'm cool getting out of this trade. It happened. It is not filling me. Good times. Okay, there we go. Nice little. I still want to get out of here, but it is worth noting that 556.30 still trying to whiffle and waffle here. Happy I tried the trade. Did lose a little bit there. Got out basically flat. But the thing is, you have to learn, live. Things aren't going to work 100% of the time, but you know what you do miss 100% of the time?
What?
Shots you don't take, Sharif.
Bang.
So that's why you got to take those shots. And to quote Hamilton, I'm not throwing away my shot. And like I said, I'm so lucky to be here on this show.
Same.
I want to be trying to learn every single day. This week was a big L for me, but as 21 Savage says, taking less L's, making more M's. How you doing?
He did say that. I heard it. I did hear him. Yeah.
It's a song called More M's.
Yeah, no, obviously, I know.
No, I know. I'm playing along. I'm trying to play along.
All right, we're at 157.20. I've been waiting at the quarter dollar forever. There does seem to be a bit of a seller at the fifth of a dollar. I've seen the ask go to 21s. The book is not, the tape is not printing anything really above 20. There is a 20 print right there. I'm not seeing any 21 prints. Yeah, it's whiffling, it's waffling. I like the trade. I like where I'm in. I like my stop. But we're not getting the execution that we want, and that's really what it comes down to. So I've got a few more minutes on this desk, then I got to weasel my way up into the green screen. I'd ideally like to be out of this trade before that. I'd like not to have to flatten out, break even, or at a small L. I'd like to get printed here, Mr. Target. But yeah, I know it's not going to. Yeah, Dara, I don't think he really cares.
He doesn't, but it might make, it's always fun to talk.
It'll feel bad for me. The dead one is trying to bounce over here. AAPL, look, we're on our way to 19.6, so it's going to be a 425-point kind of day. It feels like. We're at 19.618. We just printed the new low on the day right now on the NQ September contract. Blood in the market is an understatement today. Wow, a lot of weakness today in these here markets. Yeah, so that's the look. And if you're a short, if you're a bear, if you were short all day, it's been a great day for you, especially if you held on to your shorts. We woke up maybe with some optimism because we were knocking on the door of 20,000. We haven't been up there in about a month or so, but who cares? I mean, there is price action, and that's all that really matters as an intraday trader. You want that volatility, you want things moving. Otherwise, there's no trade. So, Saad Mahmood, can I get some freaking love? I asked Michael Noss about the bearish divergence on the Qs on Monday and felt that the 480 level was being tested too frequently. Swung a short and a $5 winner. Shout out to you, my man. But looks like I'm going to get stopped out here of this target trade. So we'll go 1 for 1. One win yesterday, 1 loss today. If I do get stopped out, I have my stop a few pennies below where this is, but it looks like it is going to breach 157 now as the ES continues to bleed. We are below 5,600 now on the ES, 5,590, and that's obviously not going to help Target over here because it's, it's connected with the ES, and we'll keep tabs on that. But yeah, a bit of a tougher look for this last trade over here, Adara. Feel like, I'm on the precipice of getting stopped out. And certainly the long-term portfolios got shellacked today. So, but that's the way it is. You got to be dead inside and then, look at it as possible opportunities to add later. And there it is. There's the official stop out. So we waffle at 157.20. I was waiting at 25s and I didn't get the print, and that's the end of the trade. So we'll go negatory on target at this level. So that's the look.
I'm sorry you didn't get your Target.
It's okay. I know, right?
But I am, honestly, shout out to your FFIE trades.
Thank you,
That's what I said, I think it's cool because we do trade so differently here on the show, all the traders, so I think you guys get a little bit of everything, and this community has a little bit of everything as well. I want to really shout out your awesome trades there.
I appreciate you there.
So SPY had the violent 556 break. I did not get involved because it wasn't as violent as I wanted it to be. It really, we had the slower grind there. Look where we're still bouncing, though, 555.30s. Look at the other area we paused, 555.70s. Guys, if you're trading the SPY, take it out with a grain of salt if you want to, but the 30-cent and the 70-cent levels are no joke. They're no joke. I would be aware of those levels. From me to you, that is my take on the SPY. Do you have to?
Yeah, so I'm just going to shout out everybody. I will see everybody in a hot second at the green screen. I hope everybody stays green. And shout out, and you'll be off tomorrow. Obviously, it's going to be Ob and I tomorrow.
I'm not going to be here tomorrow, but I'm happy. That
you're on the morning show, right?
I'll be here in the day. I just won't be. And honestly, I don't know how long the appointment's going to be. I might wave at you guys.
Hey, all right, we'll take it. I'll see everybody up at 5 minutes in the green screen.
See you guys. Yeah, thank you so much, Sheree, for everything you do. Thanks again to Obi as well for covering for me tomorrow. I think that should be a really fun session for you guys. Maybe we'll get some Amazon trade. No, I'm joking. I know he trades not Amazon as much. But we're going to see what happens there in those markets. I want to shout out Blind Leader in the chat saying I think something along the lines of a little bit scary to short when you're a new trader. I want to fully say I agree with that. I did not short at all when I first started. It took me I was in the sim, okay? At least a month in the sim. I think it was Halloween, and I know Sharif was off on Halloween. It was Obi and I there. We were dressed up in Halloween costumes, and I was I'm scared to go short, blah, blah, blah. And then both Obi and Sean were telling me that doesn't make any sense. Why are you not going short? I got a whole lecture of Adara. It's the same thing. So believe me, I understand it is really scary to go short, especially because we do have the benefit of being with real trading. We have, the things are different in terms of fees, and I know the risk is a little bit harder when you short. But yeah, I would say take your time to build up that confidence. Maybe try taking trades in the sim because honestly, being able to kind of flip the style up and go either direction is a very freeing feeling. Not advice, just my take on the chart. SPY trying to claim that 550, 550 area. Let's see what we do here on that S to the P 500. Thank you, M-Sense. Really appreciate those kind of comments there. Thank you to everybody in the chat. I love this community, and I love what's happening here too. DJ Marshall saying I got into a swing SPY put for the month. Let's take a look at that daily chart on the SPY because I usually look at this one more intraday. That there are levels that show up a couple days here. Wow, talk about bearish engulfing. We wick as high as 562.30. Then we're right now we're trying to break below 555s. If we get below 555.30, that might be trouble. But this is a really interesting look here on these here markets. I think if we can, this bearish engulfing, especially with that beautiful bull flag we had leading up into it, let's see if these markets have any more room for any blood. Also, I guess this green sweater today was not the indicator because I know sometimes the joke is, I wear green because my pants are green as well. If I wear green, the market goes the last time I wore all green like this, the market's at their best day in 2 years. So alas, my clothing choices could not move the market. Shout out though to Blind Leader. Yeah, definitely I spent a lot of time in the sim, and like I said, I'm considering going back in the sim for a bit just to get my footing again, get my sea legs back. So yeah, it is something different. You always shorts. I get definitely the trepidation with shorts. I think the fact that I shorted in the sim for a lot made me more comfortable with it, but it was still something I was a little bit more hesitant to do live. So I totally understand that transition. Again, one of the things that I think is really cool about the program and about our community is we have people from all walks of life. We've got Neil and Sean, they've been trading for 20 years. You know, like Sharif and Obi, definitely a little bit more advanced in their trading journeys. I am still a very new trader, so I'm here to learn with everybody, give you guys my insights, and everyone trades different types of stocks too, right? And I think that's something that's great. So I love being able to, you know, to exchange comments here with people in this community, even when you get rinsed, as I did this week. What's great about the ocean is there's tides. It rinses, and then it comes right back up. Tides ebb and flow. Like, shout out to the Tide to Go packs, I guess. But no matter what, like, as long in, okay, of course, like, you know, make sure you're protecting the capital, right? But if you take the time to journal, aggressively journal, to come back there stronger, harder, better, faster, stronger, I think that's really important there to keep pushing higher. Blind Leader saying, that's why I'm here soaking up Neilage. And again, I think one of the things that I'm really grateful about being able to be in this floor is I get Neilage from Neil, from Sean, from Sharif, from everybody in the back there. You know what I mean? I think it's just so, I love that you guys get to be part of this community through this show. Don't worry, John, you'll get to the next show here in just 45 seconds, I promise. We're just wrapping up here. SPY really does not want to give up that 550, 530. Look at that influx of red, the influx of green. I'm a little sad I'm not trading tomorrow because I have a lot of levels I really, really like. But you know what else I know you guys will really, really like is when we go over to those guys there on their show. Hope you guys had a great time. I won't see you tomorrow. Same bad time, same bad channel. But Sharif and Obi will. Let's see the big desk guys. See you.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, the show where you decide what we talk about every day. Neil and Sean, they're locked, they're loaded, they're ready to take the trades.